Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in that wonderful technicolor rainbow in between, we apologize for the delay, but we're here for tonight's matchup of the Titan Esports Vanquisher League. I am Witterverdi, and joining me tonight is my new comrade here in Titan, Sater. I'm going to pronounce that correctly this stream. Sater, how are you feeling tonight, Sater?
You call me comrade, and being from Europe, that's a bit of a weird one. But we will continue on the path regardless. No, I'm very, very excited. We're back at it again on the stream 2 this time. We were tuned into stream 1 as we were waiting and watching some really, really good gameplay over there. There's a Tryndamere. Let's hope we don't get one of those, because it's never too fun watching those over and over. But at the moment, TMGD and FS, both very strong teams. Really looking forward to seeing how these two are going to get on in this one. And I believe you've seen some of their gameplay before.
Not a ton of their gameplay. I've seen a few of these players, but the thing that I wanted to shout out before we hop into the drafts real quick is both of these teams are not only 1-0 in their series score, both of them are 2-0 in game score. So they have not dropped a game yet. So both these teams are expected to be here in the Vanquisher Group A. Some of the top competition, at least for these first couple of weeks, is it seems like they have got their stuff together. They're here to play. And I mean, that's the stuff we're excited for. What I'm asking is who's going to draw first blood in this series? Who's going to deliver that first loss?
First blood doesn't matter anymore. You got to remember that too. First blood doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
You don't get bonus
It's
gold. You don't get
Season 3.
feet. They've eliminated something that is so core to League of Legends, because it used to be like, oh, my team got first blood. Yeah, now it's just like, oh, well, now we have to get 2 more. Oh, wonderful. But regardless, we have to remember also Syndra is globally banned right now.
Yes.
In all of Titan. I don't know why, but I agree, regardless of the situation.
There was a bug regarding her W having no mana cost, if I'm remembering my stuff right. So makes it difficult to balance her around those mana costs. So she's not going to be enabled for at least the foreseeable future. The ban is indefinite until this bug gets patched. So hopefully we'll see it in like a quick hotfix patch in 12.13. Not 12.13. It's 25.1.3.
Yeah.
It
is a much better system. It is a much better system for explaining patches. But I will admit, whenever Syndra's not in, that's a good sign for ADCs. So I'm happy. I just don't want to see it. It's just not fair that you just press one button and something just explodes. But yeah, going back into the Fearless kind of style we saw in our previous series, that it didn't really shake it up too much. It was still a very good 2-0. I'm kind of hoping to see with these two teams starting off so well that we might get to that game 3. We might get to see a real like deep draft dive into people's pools, because then we really get to see what this team can do. But we have already looked at what they've been playing overall on op.gg. I've seen a lot of Ambessa, a lot of Jax in the top side, and then in the mid lane, Galio still creeping in. The only sad thing is FYS, the mid laner for TMGD, most played right now is Syndra, who's now not available. So it might be an Ahri pivot.
It might be. I did also want to point out Night Ravens there for TMG DK. In their series last week, ended up pulling out the Vayne top, not just in like game 2 or game 3, just game number 1. Just straight up like, hey, 5th pick, we're gonna lock in the Vayne here and say, hey, let's have fun. So I'm hoping we see some more exciting top laners like that. I wanted to call out Jax specifically because I know Tank Jace is kind of the, oh, it's a big deal, it's a problem. Jax has been seeing tank builds recently creep into him. And he's getting base damage and health growth buffs in 25.1.3. So I would expect to see a lot higher prevalence on Tank Jace or Tank Jax in the near future. Other Ja.
Isn't it usually the case that when you get a tank buff, you become a heavier bruiser? And like, if you remember the Juggernaut meta,
I don't want to think about the Juggernaut meta.
But you have to, because everybody was like, everyone got health, everyone got better scaling, and they just did more damage.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we see more bruiser out of Jax. I don't want to see him turn into what Jace has become with this full tank style of build. I like seeing champions do damage as much as I'm a fan of the tanks. I like it when champions can hurt each other. I think that's cool. I think it's a little bit bad when everybody's doing all of the damage all the time, always. There's a balance
ADCs.
there. Yeah, of course. ADCs are not allowed to do any damage ever unless they have a Lulu behind.
Or they're full lethality Varus sitting back in the backline throwing 1 Q every 20 seconds and going nice when something dies.
Nice.
That's all you're allowed to do.
Nice.
Or Kai'Sa. You have to remember that's the thing.
Poke Varus, but less interactive, shockingly.
Yeah, it's a crazy state to be in, but we're going to be jumping into draft now in just a couple of moments, and I'm kind of waiting because Mel is not available yet. Syndra is gone. Ahri is probably one of the premier picks in the mid lane alongside Galio.
Victor as well, I'd have to imagine, and it's going to be the first ban here. I like that call already for TMG DK. Just get it out of Terry's pool, make sure that one's not available. And again, I think we are going to see at least like a decent chunk of mid lane bans. The Hui, not only a mid lane ban, but also a bottom lane ban. Crushing Rock did play that in their series last week, so focusing a little two-way ban there, alongside now the Jarvan, pulling that one away from not important. A player I've seen before a few times here in Titan, very, very good jungle player, has a good volley bear, has a good Jarvan, is a good all-arounder, I would say, in the league.
That's Jungle Zyra being banned away, but for people who are like, they're banning supports, that's Jungle Zyra, which might lead us into a more aggressive pick for that jungler. We might see something that wants to engage, like we might see the Rek'Sai come through or a Skarner. Zyra has been exceptional into those due to the fact it's a control mage jungler. Yeah. We don't have those in League of Legends until she appeared, and it ruined everything for junglers. But as we go into first pick, Sante.
Yeah,
Sante, Jace are available.
Cassante and Jace are both available. Jace is getting nerfed in the near future. Cassante is not, so they're going to lock in Cassante. Again, we are on patch 25 S1.2, so we're not on that third patch or on that 0.3 patch just yet. It's coming out, I believe, tomorrow or next week, sometime in the near future. I know the patch notes for it just dropped. We're also going to see a Sion lock-in. Funnily enough, we were talking about Sion a lot because of what was happening over on the primary stream over on twitch.tv/Titan Esports NA. Sion was causing a lot of issues for the team on the blue side, and now with Sion plus Skarner, I think we're going to be getting voracious Otacon this game. I don't expect we're going to be seeing a lot of early game action with these three first picks. Whoa, maybe not.
There's a kill, marry, and kiss joke in there somewhere. I feel like we need to bring those up and see what's going on.
Wait,
but
yeah, because we had both Sion and Briar in there. Wait a minute.
What did you go for?
Well, I said kiss Briar, kill Sion. He's a zombie. He'll be fine. He'll come back. And then marry Talon, because, you know, he's got a career. He's got a career path that he's following.
I can't remember what I picked for mine. I think I was marrying Briar.
Which is a choice.
I like a little bit of crazy in my life, and that's just extra crazy.
Good for you.
Yeah, the Ahri coming through, I expect to see an Ahri on one side. The Aurora is a little bit interesting, but the Skarner, the Zyra ban, that makes sense. It's just right now I don't see FS having a plan apart from like, let's just team fight. Well, if you're not going to take the team fighting ADC before the Ahri, you're kind of missing out there. You needed to take that Misfortune before the Misfortune was gone, and now it's been banned. I think drop the Ahri, take the Misfortune, and you might be spelling out exactly what you want to do, but it's perfect for what you want to do. And now you're kind of stuck with what ADC is either going to go for Jinx, Braum, bot lane, and cover yourself off.
Jinx is still available. There is also something like Kai'Sa or Caitlyn, so they do have options. And knowing that they're going into like a decent bit of tank with Cassante, Varus is going to be their option. I have to assume that TMG DK is going to go for something with Tank Shred. I have to assume it's going to be like Kai'Sa or Jinx, someone who can actually.
Imagine Misfortune Leona on FS's side right now.
Oh, it would be brutal. They are going to end up opting for the Corki instead. True damage into tanks is not bad, and critical striking true damage is good, but I feel like there may have been better options over the course of this draft. We'll have to see how it rounds out with that Rel now. TMG DK's got a pretty decent wombo combo just with the Rel and the Aurora alone.
I'd love a Vel'Koz here. I know it's crazy talk. Well, Vel'Koz is very, very strong right now, and I just absolutely love it. But Braum, let's just... You know what? I'm just... There's not going to be a kill.
Yeah.
It's just going to be 0 kills.
This is going to be a repeat of what we saw game 1 of last week, where there was just the feats ended up being towers and objectives. We're not going to be seeing 3 kills for either side over the course of this game.
Yeah, that was something I never want to see repeated. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Unfortunately, it might happen this game again.
War flashbacks. No, for everything we're going to say about that, it was incredible macro play from the side to actually win defeats through tower and just objectives. Incredible. But on this one, I feel like TMGD have a more like comfort-based comp. They're more looking for the 1v1s, the big duels, and then bring that into the mid game, while FS, they have the idea of let's get really beefy, really big frontline, make sure they can't get to Varus, and we'll just go from there. We'll just take it from there. Like, it should be easy, but I kind of like TMGD just a little bit more because Briar, it just adds a little bit of something.
we're gonna have to see how this Briar actually ends up working throughout this. We're gonna hop down into game 1 as quick as we can. Again, trying to get past those delays. We had some back end issues that we were working through. Got them all fixed now. As soon as we can, we'll be jumping here onto the Rift. It's game number 1. It's TMG DK, and it is FS.
They gotta change that graphic for the shopkeeper because he ain't the shopkeeper no more.
Oh my god, you're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he still is. I think he's just.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, he got sunburned. Shopkeeper got tan lines. Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rest of us will not be getting any tan lines as it's a nice brisk, I think like 30 degrees out right now. There's been some snow up here in the Pacific
30?
Northwest. It's been lovely.
Oh yeah, sorry. User Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Yeah,
My brain went there. Like 30 degrees over here is like heat wave.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's somewhere between 0 and -1 for you people who use the wrong temperature system.
You're one country. We are the rest of the world.
We're one country plus someone else, as far as I remember.
Minions have spawned.
We're gonna go straight into another intro because we love intros over here at Vanquisher League, but we're going split screen. One more intro, one more for the gang. Let's go.
Just a reminder of what stream you're on, but we are going to be seeing views of both top and bot, or either mid and bot here, just depending on if the lanes have a little bit more action. I expect to see a little bit more fighting out of Aurora and Ari versus the Cassante Scion that we're seeing on the top side.
What's the golden rule of mid lane?
Trade.
If you cast your spell first, you lose.
Well, there we go.
That is basically how it goes.
Are you predicting a TMG DK win then here? Because you cast Q first?
Just because FYS now has an ability and push. So like one of those golden rules, and I'm going to explain this to a lot of mid laners that are probably like low reload and the Vanquisher guys that are wondering what I mean. As soon as you use a spell in mid lane, it gives the idea to the enemy mid laner they can walk up on you. And if you're the first one to get an auto attack off, you're winning that lane already. The further you're pushing that wave, the more you're winning. That level 2 spell is so important. So whoever uses the spell first is usually using it to try and get damage on the wave and try and bounce it back. So your Aura knows there's no Q, there's no abilities left on Ari, there's no way they can proc electrocute. You can just walk up here.
You lose the trade. I've got a mid lane, I would say back lane. What I play, so there's
every support thinks they back pocket mid, okay? Stop this. Stop
well,
this.
I mean, I'm not used to it in my games. So I just end up running back to mid now because I can play it. I've got a decent Orianna that I can play. She's a lot of fun.
See, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the mid thing. FYS, get in first. So immediately that's going to be them moving out. They have an idea of where they can ward. They're going to communicate with their jungler saying, right, I've warded my bot side. Should be good on this side. If you want to go and work on that side, I will have prio, which opens up so many more options. But when it doesn't matter when Night Ravens decides, I'm just going to kill the top laner.
Yeah, that's a bad Q charge by Adaptable Lane, but Night Ravens has that Q charge, so one more auto. Doesn't even need it. Flashes in. The healing from the Dork Shield, it's not enough. It's first blood over to Night Ravens on the Cassante, but Abe should be able to get the trade back with that Beyond Death passive. Ends up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was, you never flash onto a Scion, let's be honest here. Like, that's just not a good idea because you no longer have an escape, as we do see Amora here taking that Scuttle Crab will get prio on that, so they should get prio on the top one as well, as they can move first. Not important, we'll have to recall, reset, and then go straight up to their Krugs, think about whether or not they want to fight for this Drake, and then go, no, we're going to gank top and opt towards that top side, but there will be vision being put down by Night Raven. Already the information is being passed over. I have forced Skarner back, and these are little things you got to think about at this elo, especially in competitive. Every move has an opposite reaction to it, and the better you are jungling, the more you get to read these. Like, what would I do if I lost that Scuttle? I just reset. I'm not getting anything else out of that. So straight up the Krugs. Gonna wait for that to spawn, and Hamora looks like they won't actually invade off of that, or are they gonna go for this mid gank?
Yeah, they have the options here. They use that W to pop over the wall. Those options gets around the ward, so Terry does know this is coming, as far as I'm aware. So he's safe to lane UIS. I'm gonna be real, kind of selling this gate. Tries to go aggressive on it, gets a decent rating to Terry. He's gonna pop that electric gate down. Mura and not important are gonna start fighting, but yeah, Briar doesn't win that early in the game. Turns out Skarner.
Yeah, but FYS already with a massive lead down mid lane. I know it's only 6 minions, but the way you've been also into their tower while they were going aggressive, it's a big number already. Dark Seal bought, especially into just a little crystal there. That crystal ain't gonna do much. That just gives mana here. So
Yeah.
really, let's be honest. We all spoke about mid lane. It's all come true so far.
Yeah, I think it's also the fact that you're when you are with then the electrocute, though it doesn't have as much of that same burst kill threat as FYS with this electrocute does. Terry will be able to provide a little bit more poke and a little bit more just like consistent damage, but when it comes down to the 1v1, Terry has TP and air, FYS has electrocute and ignite. FYS wants
Yes, does want the kills. Right now, that is an invade from the Skarner. Going to pick up some Raptors for themselves. Not important, making themselves a little bit important with that. Even off the scores. No objectives being started. Ult.
ticking,
That's not a kill.
ticking, one more tick. Oh,
Yeah.
it survives it. Thanks to Terry manages to walk away. But now with Hitsky here, Wave's going to hit the tower. Terry doesn't have TP. With FS,
No, it is not. Yeah, the Ari is kind of one of those picks that you now take into. You want to play with your jungler. That's your idea. That's all you do now. You are just a secondary support that if you give shields or healing, you just do damage for the Skarner. But with Skarner being set behind from that first scuttle take, being slightly behind on the clear, and kind of being forced out of lane a little bit earlier. I know it's like a little bit to CS and that, but all these things do matter for how comfortable you can move. FYS is doing really well to control the Ari's tempo, make sure they can't move to those. And for example, even with that Briar engage that we saw where Not Important found the Briar in their jungle, Ari was in a better position. That would have been a very easy collapse. If we're not, and more though.
He just gets stunned. Homura finds that, and it's crashed down as well. They're going to be able to force the flash up to Skarner, I think. Yeah, over the wall. Homura, flashes the wrong direction. Disaster for the Briar, but maybe not. They want to look for Reed, but Ian and Bento are here. Not Important will fall to the bleeder of Homura, and now with FYS in the area, can they actually block down the Briar? They can't kill her. She's too tanky when she gets that shout. Leon trying to chase down FYS, but it doesn't have the damage, doesn't have the poke, and Mura still going for the red buff a little bit dangerously, I'd like to say. He doesn't have the ulti, and Mura's just gonna hop over the wall and get a little mad, but ends up walking away. It ends up just being a 1 for 0.
Oh, no.
Isaiah's high on, tries to charge in, nice catch by Mitsuki with the crash down over the wall. Is just gonna be able to walk out. Terry pops his spear rush, wants to get something out of this. Nice side step right over and gets away from more deception.
Oh my.
Can somebody die? The arrow finally finds one. It'll find two. The blinded quiver shutting them down. But now Night Raven wants a little bit of revenge. Picks up 1 kill, but now you're stuck in a 1v5, my friend. Gets taken down by his top lane opponent again. And it's chaos on the map. More kills than I think we were expecting.
A bit more. So the Feeder War was won by FS. You got to put that one out really quickly. So they've won the first 3 kills. Why was there 5 of them topside? There was no grubs to be taken.
Rotate by Bento and Leanne, I guess.
A good rotate. That was crazy. Like, they have given up so much. That's 3 plates also, I believe, for Corki now in that bot side. As we get to maybe a spectator.
I'm hoping that this is just a spectator issue and a short one at that, but we are frozen at the current moment. Don't check your screens. We are trying to figure this out. But we get a chance to talk about that previous fight and just figure out what the heck was going on there. Because like you said, Leanne and Bento were rotating up when grubs were already gone.
Yeah, so they all move for it, but Crushing Rock manages to get 3 plates. So gold is going to be heavily in favor of that Corki off next back. That could even be the last 2 components towards that Triforce. As I'm really hoping this isn't the game ended bug that we get with spectators sometimes.
Oh, I hope not. There's been... It is Riot Games. It's League of Legends. Spectator bugs come and go. So I'm hoping it's not one that's too serious. As we get it more figured out, we can hopefully get back into game. But for now, it seems like we're kind of just stuck here. We can see where the item builds are starting to go. I saw Heart Steals being near completed for the top side of FS. Both of them are going to get very, very tanky. And again, there's not going to be a lot of tank shred, I fear, for this TMG DK side. Their tank killer is Corki. Aurora wants to
Mhm.
burst back line. Briar with that stacking bleed is nice enough, but she's not exactly known for shredding tanks. Cassante is, well, it's Cassante. He's gonna hurt, but he's not a tank killer.
The worst thing is that we did see Cassandra actually get a kill in that after 2 kills from the side of FS. So TMGD, they did end up getting one more in that fight. Night Ravens did take out Ape, I think.
Yeah, it was Night
So
Ravens
if
taking out Ape and then Ape taking out Night Ravens again.
yeah, so if Lien didn't get the snipe on the one of the two, so it was the hail of arrows that killed one and the Q that killed the other. So if one of those had missed, there's a chance then that they would have got the 3 kills. So it's like slim margins there. But we are going to attempt to reconnect to the game. We're going to see what happens. But it's producer in ear.
Mm-hmm.
They're attempting to reconnect. Both the observer and the producer are going to try and reconnect. If we do get back in, that's great. If we don't, we will probably just have to wait for game 2 and keep you updated on that. But I guess we talk more about that mid lane and the Ari if you want to kind of throw what you were thinking going into it after I gave you 7 spiels.
Yeah, mid lane is not my go-to lane, so I don't have as much experience with it, but I like seeing players sort of make their playstyle known with their runes and their summoner choices. Like Ignite Electrocute on the Aurora is saying, hey, I want to 1v1 you, I want to win this lane and then roam out to help out the rest of the team. Whereas Terry with Airy plus teleport is saying, like, hey, even if you win lane, I'm still going to be useful in the mid lane game. I'll be able to have side lane pressure. I'll be able to apply consistent damage. I don't need to hit a combo as long as I can just keep chipping you down with the Orb of Deceptions with autos and just keep getting more and more damage stacked up on you because you don't have sustain.
Yeah, that would be the plan, but when you get everything pushed in towards you and you can't escape the lane, the area does kind of fall apart a little bit more there. Like you saw the team did rally around Skarner, especially when it came to, oh, we lost Grubs. Oh, there's a Briar in my jungle. Okay, Avengers assemble. And they all pulled up and they did run the Briar out and up to the top as we do with Producer jumping in. And all I'm seeing is it's cooked.
Oh boy.
That's all I'm seeing.
I'm hoping that's not the case.
We'll be right back in just a couple of moments.
So we are jumping back in here. Unfortunately, it's a lot farther than when we left it. Unfortunately, the spectator he had to jump back in. He lost a lot of the game he had. We are here for the rest of this game.
Got the boots.
A lot of things have changed. I'm looking for upgraded boots. I'm looking for the triumphant ones. It's TMG. They ended up getting the feats of strength in the end, actually. As now definitely very tanky on this side lane, but it's going to start to get shredded down here. Black Weaver on Briar with a Serpent's Fang as well. Ape is just going to try and solve for as much time as possible. The rest of them, that's just going to start pushing down the middle lane, but Ape is not going to be long for this world. Night Raven will pick up 7,000 health on this Scion will eventually be picked up by first flash away. Now FS barreling down mid, not able to find anything off of their Conrad dying.
Do you ever see those TikToks where they do like the flash forwards of like things going wrong? It feels like one of those. Because everything was looking really good for TMGD, and now we cut back and they're up gold, but they look like they don't have much tempo on the map. But then again, Night Ravens is now pushing. I'm kind of lost in how this game is going because Varus looks really strong. He's got a hull breaker though, which is kind of confusing me. How does that happen?
I've seen the whole breaker get picked up by a lot of them. No longer requires
Hull breaker proc the extra damage out of the Greenstone?
Yes, it does. I think it's stuck in a 1v4. They're going to get picked up by TMG, and Kasante survives for way too long, but will finally get shut down there by Lien. It is going to be, I think, Jack Show next time.
Too much to talk about, Britty. There's too much.
Off-tank Bears, I think, is the pick here. Looking for any sort of Autocon boss. Yeah, it looks like TMGD did pick up the Ruinous one, not the Voracious. No. I can't tell. Is that buff on the bottom?
I think the hand when it's pointed up is Voracious.
Yeah, I think that's the one that you get extra gold on kills. So they must have done that. It was a slow game. I was shocked. Potentially in trouble. On that impale once again. It will got a late game dragon by the arrows missed their teammates. There's a lot of hope. There's that between world. That player trying to get on the back line against the off, shutting them down. Here comes Briar to the back line, finds the mark on the territory. The Anderson gives some damage down the bleed, taking away on the Ori. She will finally bleed to that horrified battle. Now the frontline battle can begin. Tanks galore. Who's got the damage? Not important to fight Minsky, but Murrow's just unkillable on this frontline on the Briar. Crunchy Rock is going to flash forward, but it's into the waiting arms of not important. Murrow still chasing down backline threats. Triple kill over to the Briar. Potential penta here as long as Night Raven doesn't steal it away. No, there it is. Take it out with the last auto from Kasante. But it's a fight win there for TMGD. It's tank gameplay.
That's my wife right there. Telling you. That is my wife. This is why you always choose Briar. You need that crazy in your life, as that is just absolutely wild. That fight went on for way too long. No one has any burst. Everything's too tanky, and Briar still wins. It's fathomable, but we are going to go 3 Drakes for 3 Drakes. There's nothing else on the map for them to take, and we're just going to see the return to split pushing.
It's mountains as well. Hang on, certain death called by Omura. It's going to look for adaptable A5. I don't know how certain this is yet. Omura's going to say, we're going to scream our way out of this one. No, thank you.
The Serpent's Fang ain't going to help you get through that. The Black Cleaver might a little bit, but no LDRs? It does some damage, but that is a 37-minute Scion. That thing has more health than everything else on the team combined.
Yeah, 1,200 hard skill stats compared to the near 400 that Not Important has. That's about 7,500 health on this Scion, and climbing as he's got an infinite scaling passive on that W to just get more HP.
And unending.
For 1,100 healing so far in this game. Good lord.
Let's put the Warmogs on that, see what happens.
I don't even think I want the Warmog. I think the Sunfire item is the correct choice because those AoE takes are doing so much
I
damage.
just want to see the health go back up. I just want to see them burn every bit of their combos onto him, and then the Scion just steps back and just goes, watch me, and just starts like squeaking in the corner and gets all his health back. It's like a Mundo ult for free.
Yeah, you can't use it in combat, but you know, it's a lot of healing. It's very good. Looking at just at other builds across the board that we can potentially comment on, it seems to be very standard builds. I'm surprised to see Delta running from FYS on the Aurora. Yeah, I don't want to tank trap in this game, so I feel like it's kind of necessary. I would have loved to see Homura pick up a Blade of the Ruin just with how much health is being stacked, but they opted for Spirit Visage and Serpent's Fang instead. Crushing Rock has some crit going on in that inventory, so at the very least we'll start doing some more damage. And the Varus build sure is a Varus build. That's all I gotta say about it.
The Varus builds like someone that's looking in a bargain bin.
Yeah, you know, there's a Jackjo sitting down here. It used to be really good, and now it's just kind of fine. There's a Hull Breaker in here. When it got released, it was crazy, but now it's kind of just okay. Terminus was lauded as the 80 carry savior item, but now it's kind of fine. He's got his premium item of Game Season, and everything
enters
else
the
is
shop, right? And he goes, and the shopkeeper goes, "What do you want?" He says yes, and leaves with his hands full.
He says, "I've got
Kendrick
this
Lamar at the
coupon card."
Grammys. He's just taking them all.
He comes
I'll
in
take
with his coupon card and says, "I'm going to take everything I can."
Yeah, he's a food stamps ADC.
Well, for being on food stamps, it is surprising to say that he has the second most gold, third most gold in the game, as Homura actually a big benefactor. I think that was 18,000 gold into their inventory, but we're approaching 40 minutes. This is the point in the game where gold really starts to stop mattering.
Yeah, there's a curve in which gold matters, and it drops off at about 35 when everyone's kind of full build. Then again, though, I was playing a game earlier where my Corki had 2 items at 40 minutes.
And you say that, there is a 3.5 item Ari here at 40 minutes. So still some people looking for their last items. Leon is going to go for the Sonya's last item. It truly is the bargain build there. I mean, as long as you're getting the hit procs through the tanks, I guess it works.
You still do damage. More than you should.
You're relying on your percentage HP procs from your W.
As we do see, this could be the engage here. Adaptable Blade walking up, get the shield worth more than some people's health bars, but that's certainly fine. We'll definitely cut that down as we do engage for the fight. Not important.
They're shoving into the wall. Not exactly who they want. They look like Terry, but the helpers are just too high. Certain death called on Terry. Briar looking for the backline. Instant exhaust down as well. Cooper down for the bonus. Terry again, the mark didn't find anything. Not important. Gets the full position on the pressure. There's no follow. There's no damage. Still running a train on this backline. Briar is untouchable. Manages to survive the whole fight. A great crash down by Mitski, and this should be it. FS are torn apart. It doesn't matter how tanky you are. Briar just gets to feast for even longer.
Yeah, just Briar did coming through. It's one of those junglers that the more time they have, the more they make you look silly. And there's the part I wish we got to see more of that game. Issues are issues, and Riot hates us. Regardless, it's a long game. It's a morale breaking game because it's after 40 minutes and losing. It's just don't want to see it.
Rough to say the least. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any post-game stats for you, but Homura on this Briar, I think especially with how early in the draft they ended up grabbing it, a shocking pick and one that worked really well. And if you can pull those kinds of things out in game number 1 of a series, in a Fearless series, I'm excited to see what you're going to pull out for game 2 and 3.
You know what's more terrifying? I was looking at Homura's like pool beforehand, and all they've played is Twitch and Pantheon.
Oh. And they just pulled out a Briar and made it work on the main stage. Incredible stuff here from TMG.
Support ADC main.
Incredible stuff here from TMG Death Knights here for game number 1. We are going to cut through a short break while we get ourselves set up for game number 2. Hopefully we won't have as many issues to deal with, but unfortunately it's Riot. There's only so much that we can do here on our side. But hopefully when we come back, we'll be talking about draft for game number 2 and getting you into game just a little bit quicker. We'll see you then. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be here jumping ourselves into the draft here for game number 2 between TMG DK and False Syndicate. I'm still Woodford Birdie. That's still Sater. Unfortunately, we did have to miss a decent chunk of that game number 1, but those couple of fights we saw at the end were certainly very exciting.
Yeah, my wife came true for me. For those of you that don't know, on production, we everyone does play Kiss, Marry, Kill with champions, and this week we did have, I believe, towards the end we had to change it because someone didn't realize some certain things about certain champions.
Well,
But
is in fact 16 years old and is not illegal.
yeah, like lore wise, she is third strongest in the whole universe.
Something like that. She's if we
Right.
as long as we're not talking about like Asol or Bard or whoever.
No, but
She's
like
up there.
Kindred ranks 1.
I don't know how the power scaling works between Kindred and Asol. I know
Kindred
they're
is
top
death.
2. I know they're
Is
top
death.
2.
Yeah, Asol is like cool and all, but we're just gonna don't care. You created stuff and it outpowers you. It doesn't matter. You're weak right now. And then there's Mordekaiser, who Rel is destined to kill.
It's the one she's being built to kill, or she was built to kill at the very least.
And some of her lines, absolutely. Also, we've seen a
Oh,
lot of Rel in pro play lately, so I'm very excited to talk about Rel. And we're going to Noxus for the next season of what's no longer going to be called Arcane. I'm genuinely
next
curious what they're
season
going to call it.
For teach, it might be they might do like a Knives Out thing where they do like are like a Noxus story Arcane kind of thing, like where Arcane is now the subtitle instead of the title. I don't know. They have options, but we're not here to talk about potential lore or future TV shows. We're here to talk about the draft, and we're jumping into game number 2. And I need to remind everybody, I'm going to be doing this for the entire of the season, so I hope you don't get bored of it. It's Fearless. Any of these 10 champions that we saw in this game number 1, we will not be seeing again in this next draft.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of very key picks already been taken away. That Rel is one that we're definitely going to have a look for because it is gone. From Varus, Corki leaves Callista, Caitlyn, Misfortune, which was banned previously. The Zyra ban is going to stay from the side of TMGD for the moment, as we are going to see Victor. I don't think bans will change up too much. I think they might have to let some more of those junglers through.
Yeah, we are still going to be seeing Zyra and Bessa and Victor banned away, which I believe got banned in game number 1. Jarvan was another ban that came through. Wukong was a champion that we were actually just talking about recently because we saw that he was in the next patch, 25 season 1 3. He's getting tapped a little bit, but not towards the parts of him that make him really strong, so we'll have to see if he remains in pro play at all. But again, a very jungle-focused ban phase here for game number 2, with a little bit of pressure more on the mid laners with the Wei and the Victor now taking.
You just take Rumble here if the Jarvan is available, right? Because then you're forcing them either into taking it.
You're gonna opt for the Misfortune that was banned away in game number 1, so that will be their first pick, allowing their comp to be a little bit more flexible. Like, they could just go for Jarvan Galio on 2-3 if False Syndicate doesn't take it away.
What I'm thinking now is that, like, I think Hamura wanted to play Jarvan with the Misfortune. Add a Rumble to that. It doesn't matter if you're going to play Jace. Jace still just gets outclassed in the late game by the effectiveness. Yeah, like, it's going to be very difficult. Gwen is a good pickup, though. That does leave open a Jace mid option, with Gwen also flexing jungle top. So they haven't shown any cards yet. There's the Jarvan. I'd like to see the Rumble. I'd like to see Rumble here, because Galio can always be banned or picked later.
Yeah, I think if they, whether they pick Galio or Rumble here, one of the two is going to be banned away. Potentially both of them, as they're going to opt for the Leona instead.
I don't really like that too much.
Fine. I don't think it's great. I think Leona is a support that you could definitely pick up later, or you could do something similar like either Thresh or Nautilus or even Blitzcrank if you felt like you really needed to. And now that you're laning versus Zates, it's going to be even rougher, honestly.
Yeah, I don't like the Leona here. I think Rumble's too important of a pick. They also are going to get rid of the Orianna to stop that free ball delivery system that comes through. Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting one, because I'm genuinely curious to see if they do want to opt into a full Wombo combo comp. But I think from what we saw from TMG that they did excel later on in those fights with the Briar coming through and just shredding through, getting a great angle onto that onto the backside, getting rid of Terry on the Ahri and stopping them from being that disruption kind of style. But a Veigar ban as well, so they really want to lock down on control mages. But there's still Nazir available. They could still opt in for a Galio, but it's very defensive. There's the Thresh coming through that also is getting buff. Thresh is fun to cast. He's always, if you land a death sentence, it's good fun.
Yeah, he's still one of my highest mastery supports. Absolutely love that pick. Important to note here, it's not showing up on the screen, but besides Art Swap, it is False Syndicate on the blue side and TMG on the red. So False Syndicate are the ones with the Misfortune Leona combo, and now with the Galio, since it didn't get banned out, and TMG DK will be the ones piloting what is most likely going to be the Ziggs and Thresh in the bottom.
Yeah, I am a little bit unhappy to see the Gragas going into that top side. Rumble's just better. Take the Rumble. But, or even a Camille works off the top of that one. But yeah, the Olaf, I think honestly with way not Night Ravens played Cassante, how aggressive he was going into 1v4s, I think this is better.
My question is Night Raven playing the Olaf, or is he playing the Gwen? Because either of them could flex into jungle and top, as we assume.
It has to be Olaf top into Gragas.
Okay, so Night Raven is the one piloting the Olaf, and it will be Omira on the Gwen. So, as we expected, we should be able to jump into the game pretty fast here, but just looking at these comps, I know you mentioned that you liked the Rumble more instead of the Gragas that was picked up. Do you still think that False Syndicate there on the blue side has a bit of an advantage with their Rumble combo?
Yes and no. I think they have a lot of like, yes, we can lock all these people down here, but on the other side, there's a Ziggs, and Ziggs goes alley-oop, Kobe, and just absolutely shreds through them if they can get to that late game stage. That's the question, because Misfortune and Leona have this habit of everyone going, yep, they're going to scale. Then they get into lane and everything dies.
Yeah, they tend to do a lot of damage early in the game. Thresh is good at disengaging Leona. I will say this is one of those old school, before we had a lot of enchanters come through in the bottom lane. It was like, oh, Thresh is like the vacuum counter to Leona because you press E when she presses E and she doesn't get to play the game.
But you need timing.
Timing is key, so we'll see how practiced Mitsuki is coming in here for this game number 2. Again, as a reminder, these sides are
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Syndicate there on the blue side and TMG DK on the red. We'll make sure to remind you over the course of the game until hopefully we see something fixed on the production side, but unfortunately out of our control for now.
Yeah, we're going to blame Krisunga on that one, as he says everything is simple when you get the package. Everything is simple, but no, it's simple for a person that created it. It's like you've created this box, and if you press the box a certain way, it makes music. But all you get handed is the box, and he goes, "Yeah, it's easy, bro. You built this. You don't understand this. It's a box." And he goes, "Press the buttons. Where's the buttons, bro?"
There is the saying of back end for the Titans. You got to remember your ABCs. Always blame Chris.
Every single time Chris builds a new package, it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. We all love it. It's like getting into your friend's shower. None of the controls work. You're trying to drive a spaceship. All you want is some hot water, and you've been scalded and frozen twice. Not a good time, okay? Love you, Chris. Make it easy. Please.
Yeah, we will be seeing for FYS here on this Jason. It's not Grasp of the Undying, so it's more of a focused build. It's not the Grasp tank Jace that we've been seeing so much, and I really would have expected them to a tankier pick like Gallagher to keep up with them in terms of sustain. So it looks like it's just for TMGDK there on the red side. Very damage heavy composition, 4 damage dealers and a Thresh just trying to pilot their way through the mid and late game.
If they can. If they can. We'll see how it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic of a Ziggs pick, as I played a tournament recently here in Ireland with some friends, and it's called Captain's Draft, where people just pick people I ended up with a couple of people I've played with before, and they went, "Oh yeah, we have an ADC and a jungler, so do you mind playing mid?" I went, "Yeah, cool, I do that." Never played mid, and I said, "I'm playing Ziggs every single game," and they were like, "Okay." It then started getting banned because I kept winning on it. So I have a thing for Ziggs. It's just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Ziggs it is. I can play it anywhere now. I'll play it top. I don't care. It works. I can just get the spam Q. It's wonderful. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Harry, no way.
FYS lands the taunt with the level up. Beautiful timing. First blood over to not import.
Yeah, that's the power of the Galio. Didn't use any spells. Bided his time. Went, hey jungler, come here, and it's nice and easy. This is what people always think of Galio supporting you. No, if you support the Galio, it can do some damage too. Great little setup. Great start.
I also want to point out that Terry did level double mid combo there. He already had the E flying out as he was dinging 3. Rocked W, got the level in it, and then started channeling it. Beautiful stuff there from the mid laner of All Syndicate.
More information coming through from Reduction that everything's on the right side when it comes to First Blood, but First Blood doesn't matter anymore because that's not a feat. You need 3 kills to get the feat, so even though it's on the right side, it is does not need to go up yet. Shirogan is still asleep. Love you, buddy, but you need to wake up. We're gonna get that nice room.
One more auto, not important. We'll just grab the kill with the red buff as Nomura. Doing a lot of damage. Deep inside that Hal would miss a nice flash away from the Jarvan. This Leona will flash over, pick up that last auto, and it's 3-0 here for All Syndicate here in the early game. They're picking up steam.
Now you can press the button, good sir. They've got the 3 kills, very, very nicely done, but not important coming off to a great start. Really wants to put some damage down on Hamura this time after they kind of got briared last game, which is never fun. But as we go into this one, Jarvan looking like a great pick, and we see why it might have been banned in game 1.
Yeah, and this is more of what I expected to see. Like I mentioned on the top of the day, this is a guy I've casted a few times before. We've seen him a lot. He's a Titan, very talented jungler, and again, this is more of what we expect from him. Some good early game action comboing this Jarvan and Galio together. It's a really good start for the Syndicate.
Yeah, and you can already see that straight out onto the map, pickaxe in hand, is going to be looking for more and more of that. We will see the classic kind of bruiser build that we see along the likes of Jarvan, Rek'Sai, and Jin Zhao, where you Sundering Sky for some reason just seems to work every single time. Rek'Sai started to come into as well now, being like, oh, I used to be like one of those groundbreaker ones where you used to go for the slow, but it just works out so much nicer for them when they don't have to do that now.
Yeah, it used to be assassin items and the Stridebreaker, and now Thunder Sky. There's a lot of options, but it is going to be the first objective here for TMG as more members do. This is just the bully FYS show, is what's happening here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is going to be... Hamura's not going to have too much fun here. They do manage to pick up the Drake, but this is one of the things I was talking about. Once you lose 3 kills, you can have to force every single objective, but not important. It's going to force themselves straight onto Gwen. Going to have 4 people walk outside. This feels mean.
Grab the ward and walk away. Even 4v3, there's no confidence here from TMG DK to walking on that and engage it. They just let Flash Syndicate walk through as...
I'm kind of getting a little bit worried here.
On the top side. I'm doing
TMGD seem a little bit lost here. They seem a little bit worried about every single one of these fights, and I feel like there's a big confidence shift right now, as it feels like FS know what they're doing now in a weird way. It's like they figured out League of Legends in the off time.
They woke up here for game number 2 at the very least, so they were going for a good series, but yeah, so far first 3 kills over to Flash Syndicate. The first objective goes over to TMG DK. No, other than that, it's been a fairly slow game. I expect that looking voracious here again. Grubs are going to be taken over. The objective score 1-1. No grubs on the way, so you actually get to keep track of that one instead of having to do basic math. As much as I play D&D, I'm not going to watch explosions and see funny colors.
But the math is the most fun part of D&D, when you're adding modifiers, this, that, and the other, and then you realize you didn't even hit them in the first place.
See,
regardless of that.
Math is secondary. Talk to my friends and funny voices.
I'm a forever DM, so I don't have fun. I don't have fun. I'm not allowed to have fun. But as we do see, Adaptable Ape right now is opting into a little bit of damage here. I'm sure it's going to be Fimbulwinter. It has to appear as a Fimbulwinter. If I see an Archangels, I might scream. But I want to see a full tank Gragas. I know that their AP damage is kind of lacking, but you have a Lethality Misfortune, and they don't really have a tank. So I'd like to see them opt in to just playing that tank role, make sure the barrels are strong.
I would love to see full tank Gragas. It's never what actually ends up getting picked up, which is always frustrating for me. Gragas is a good tank, but a bunch of trouble on the bottom side as Bento in the end. Back, away, but they just want to focus down on this Misfortune. Flash not used, the hook lands, but it should just be a kill. So the match damage shield from the Galio is not enough. Aurora will pick that up with the needle work, but not important. Now on a killing spree, will knock that one down.
Holding on to that flash for dear life. Liam was saving that for game 3, but in the end they do use it, and still the snipe and needlework comes through. Hamura manages to grab that one nice and easy. So still a kill over. Still a bit worrying that they still managed to pick up something in a situation where they were so far ahead. So FS, they're going to be feeling that one, as Misfortune is a very key component in this draft, and it's a very important champion for them to keep strong. And already they're starting to shut that one down.
Yeah, it's still a good start here for Flash to get up around 1,000, 1,200 gold, 13-ish in their favor. They're happy with the spot they're in, especially with the composition that I would say scales really well between the Gragas, the Galio, and the Misfortune, who is, I think, building towards crit. I have to imagine that it's a Unifall first item, maybe a Bloodthirster. It's a team composition that scales fairly well.
Yeah, it does. It's going to be a strong one, as you do see Terry right now. Heavily trading, does have Bento in the wings, but I don't think you need to go on that hard, but there might be a reset coming through. So yeah, just expending the last of your health and mana, making sure you're staying in that one. And I'm kind of don't like the swap from Misfortune now going back towards the Untal and not going full lethality. I like lethality.
I think lethality is okay, but I do think this Essence Reaver Bloodthirster build, just keeping her like in the lane forever and maximizing her sustain, is a good build option for her. It means that your lane dominance can be even more dominant, though. Into picks like Ziggs, you're not really interacting with them very much. You're interacting with Pope, so the Bloodthirster's still good. It's just, you don't need it as much.
I like the idea of Misfortune blowing up the orbital. That just cheers me up. But yeah, so we're going to see the Bloodthirster, Essence Reaver. Going to go for more of a crit focused build. Yeah, I would just much rather see a little bit more of just that like one shot burst Misfortune, but with being so much roaming coming through as well from both sports with Mid-Sky and Bento not really being in lanes. Lien might need that little bit of extra sustain just to keep them alive, as we do see. Oh, we have the swap come through.
Yeah, our side selection is now back end love our here at Titan. But we don't have to keep mentioning which team is on which side anymore. Huzzah! Second squad growth is going to come through the Flash Syndicate. Do not care about that. We're instead just going to look for this. Just be able to pick it up for free.
Yeah, so this means that if they can stop this Markham coming through, getting one of these, it's in a great position to finish up on getting that last piece. Oh, Terry right into the pit. We'll be able to get this one with Bento now, waiting for Homura to come over the wall. Not important.
Over the wall, just throws the full combo down. Goodbye, Homura. That's near enough a solo kill for the support. I think Leona does enough damage, actually.
Will we see the Eclipse Leona coming through with a lead like that? Will we see it? Because it's something that I've kind of played a little bit when I'm kind of playing with friends, and it's fun.
For like a minute in bottom lane where you would go to this one and engage the sword. FYS, it's gonna force the flash out of Bento. Mega Turtle not gonna last, but still in a bit of trouble here. Use those symbiotic souls to try and sidestep. Walking around, trying to stall for time so Terry can get nearby. Will get blocked down, shut down gold over to FYS. Now the Lantern, somebody pop a ward on it. Beautifully placed. Is it enough? No! He escapes the Thresh, the MVP.
Yeah, you gotta get that zoom in on the camera to make sure you click on that lantern. Every freshman screaming right now just to click it. No, those wards stop it. You gotta know these things. Wards are the worst enemy you could ever have as a fresh. You zoom in your camera though, you're fine.
Yeah, it's just hard in the heat of the moment to say, okay, I'm getting attacked by the enemy, so I'm going to zoom in my camera and click on this lantern. It's hard to remember in the heat of the moment, but thankfully for FYS, does manage to escape as that ward did run out of being visible, so able to click on that one real quick and get the heck out of dodge with shutdown gold that was picked up against Bento.
Yeah, nice little shutdown. Those boots, the speed alone coming out of that Leona is terrifying.
Yeah, this is going to be unexalted as well, so this Leona is going to get fast.
Yeah, it's like, who needs supports anymore? Not ADCs, right? It's just like the game just hates ADCs, and it's a classic trope for all ADC players. Like, oh, ADC's weak. We are terrible little trodden on kittens, and we need help. Okay.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yeah, but unfortunately, having the support job is roaming helping them, but
it all started with Bard. It all started with Bard. Bard ruined League.
Oh, it started before that. It started with Moby Boots. Let's be real.
No, it's all Bard's fault. You two
blame
duded my
Bard.
lane.
Just a little guy.
You would have ruined my game.
Very
misses.
Will force the flash out of Minsky. A nice solar flare. He is going to land down onto Crushing Rock. Plenty of damage onto the Zinx, who Sasscard in with the Lancer. Look now, manages to find Bento. Not important on the run now. Homura with the needlework is just going to throw that against him now to 43. Crushing Rock being TMG not going to overforce here. Just going to back up and say, hey, we got our kill. We're taking the winning trade.
Take the winning trade, take that Leona back out. That's what you get for Roman. You're too weak now, and you're just going to get absolutely bopped. Level diff, support diff, go next. But yeah, more roses picked up as well. Has the roses really changed much?
I'm going to be honest, with roses support especially, yes. The amount of XP you get, especially when you're a lower build, is very much noticeable. That, of course, is fine enough. I think more often than not, it's not very noticeable, especially with all the items and stats. And speaking of nerfs, FYS is about to get nerfed into the gray screen. Terry manages to find that one. As saw Night Ravens on the roam down, but after no thank you.
This was there, and this guy thought about it. He saw him step back into it slightly, went, can we? And then said, no, it's kind of doing as you do see more roses spawning in that mid, as you do see high impact in that lane. As will follow through. There goes the ult and
good. Hi, Homura. Yeah, it turns out, well, Gwen can while you're running crowd control. Like if I'm most of the way, but will go down. Last Syndicate grabs that one. I believe that should give them triumphant boots as soon as they start getting them upgraded.
yeah, that is the feat of war completed. They get the first tower on the map. Very, very comfortable there for them, as they will unlock the extra boots. They will have that extra little bit of insurance when it comes to the late game, and even the mid game before they upgrade them, they get slight, I mean, tiny little buffs as they come through. But FS do take it. It depends on what time in the game. If you're talking like everyone's full build,
Then yeah, you want to upgrade the boots. Before you're like 3 items in, it's not worth it.
depends on what you're playing. If you're playing something like high ability haste and you have Ionians, upgrading them at level 3 is, or at for 4th item, is very important. That extra little bit is an extra like 0.5 seconds, I think someone was telling me.
The extra boost you get off of hitting it. These are all time nice. We'll have to see how that one works out, especially for that. Hey, Dragon, not important in the area. And so, we will catch engage. Gwen is in fact immune to the solar flare and the team is not concerned. And here comes Olaf. The crash down comes through. Not a cataclysm down, but Keaton Raven does not care. Finds the shutdown goal. Folks still coming through. Pressure Rock helps on this backline, just throwing bombs for days. But Night Ravens finds not important in the scuffle. An overextension for Clash Syndicate means that it's a dragon and an ace here for TMG DK.
So much miscommunication in that fight. Not important going back in. You could see as the flag and drag came through, he would turn around and went, oh, I'm not meant to be here, and tries to escape and just gets ran down by 2. Just that little mistake just rips them apart, and with see it open up everything for them now. The gold goes back to even. They get their second Drake on the board. They're going to move straight into a mid tower as well. TMGD pick up so much off of one mistake that cost everything for FS. Everything they built up fell apart immediately. They also had no ult on them, unfortunately, and we're getting a Rift Herald out of it. Wow.
Yeah, and the big thing in that fight I want to point out is just Crushing Rock was untouched that entire time. Still has flash, still has teleport, but was just able to continue tossing bombs over the walls and doing so much damage over the course of that whole fight. Like, yeah, Night Ravens picked up a couple of kill credits, and yeah, FYS came in with a very cool combo at the end, but Crushing Rock, if we had damage tracking over the course of that fight, I would guess did over half of it.
Yeah, maybe. There's still a Gwen.
There is still the Gwen, but that Ziggs untouched through that entire fight, and he, while only on an item and a half, still had a very strong point. FYS now the one in trouble. Solar for his unit played all of the crowd control use. Belly flop into the cast explosion. All of the CC thrown. But do they have enough damage? FYS not tanky, but tanky enough to survive. So not important to come pick up that close credit. There is a long time damage to find a solo for now. Not important to Homura. But he just sets himself up into the Mega Inferno Ball. Homura with the needle work. He's going to be able to walk away. A nice little hallowed miss, but it's not going to be nice enough. A nice belly bomb flash from adaptive lane means that the Gwen goes down. Mitsuki now in trouble. They should just be able to donate this one over to Leanne. A nice hook, but it's not in time. One more shot, and Leanne finds the kill.
I'm confused about a lot of things. The decision-making process on both sides right now is just fight. And there's not much. It's a bloody game, and it's wonderful. I'm genuinely curious to see what the Atakan is going to spawn as right now as well. Because it has been bloody, but it's always going to be orange, right?
Yeah, it's going to be orange, I think, specifically because the amount of kills and damage that happened before 14 minutes was relatively low. Even though we got that explosion past 15 plus, it's still probably going to be voracious.
Trading does come into it, though, and there was some heavy trading.
I also want to point out in terms of item builds, Nomura's going for the Deathcap's second item, so this will be a damage-heavy Gwen, and Night Ravens has said, hey team, you all have fun in a team fight. I'm going to play side lane and just split push to my heart's
Oh, it is a tankier... It's not as tanky a Gragas as we kind of wanted, with Cosmic Drive first, so there is going to be a lot of AP coming out of that, as we do get the orange Atakan, as always.
Because the extra cooldown reduction means that you're talking more often, which means you're getting more Thimble Winter Shields. So with the extra health, in a way, it's helping with Gragas's tank stats.
But it's like, just go for like Sunfires and stuff, and they can't kill you anymore.
Although, if anyone is going to be able to kill him, it is going to be Night Ravens. As when that Ragnarok pops, someone's going to die, and it's going to be real. And the 1v1,
I don't think at this point anything can 1v1 the Olaf. It's 2 items completed.
FYS?
Breaker being one of them.
FYS, I think we have to talk. Winter on Jace is good if you're health stacking and you're getting a lot of, like grass procs and stacking HP. It's not great with Phase Rush plus Clips, right? Unless something has changed that I'm unaware of.
Shields, just more shields. Keep adding shields. It'll definitely work. As the Night Ravens is going to get popped a little bit faster.
Just see Terry's not taking any damage, even with the Eclipse procs from FYS, and the Jace is just forced on the run as Terry with full tank items just does more damage.
Yeah, Jace having a good little run around there. They're just having fun at the moment. That's the most important thing. Just have fun with it. Just keep going.
I wish FYS had grass, so at least in these longer trades, you could be gaining something from it over time and getting more HP and scaling harder. But with the Phase Rush, yeah, it's great for escapes, but you're not going to be able to stay as tanky and relevant in the mid and late game as you want to be, especially since the team is not really a poke comp.
Yeah. I'm getting a little bit more worried now for the side of FS with the fact that Sig has been free farming. You can already see that they have really, really good CS numbers. They're 2-0 and 6. They've been a part of a lot of the kills. They have 2 burn items completed into what is a very tanky team. We'll see them slowly go towards the Rabadons and then the Void Staff, maybe a Crypt Bloom, etc. Ziggs is going to be a massive problem, and their backline access is a misfortune.
Yeah, they're hoping for Jarvan plus Galio to jump into the back. side, FYS is going to stay on carrying FYS from trailer. There is some dragon setups happening currently. So they're spotted by Ward. Muro wants the all-in, misses the same hit, so Vento escapes with most of that HP, but a little awkward here as that turret on the bottom side is going to be taken by my aim. Flashing for Mitsuki, but it's into the flag and Drax, so not important. Will be able to make it out. A big cooldown used there by the Thrash is really going to weaken TMG's fight in the near future.
Yeah, so a big summoner burn there.
Mura, that's not the direction you want to go. So he's got the Hallow Mist, he's looking for a way. No Hallow Mist anymore. Not going that off. The end though, the one in trouble is that Ravens is just chasing the torch it down. Backline access speed and almost says I'm going in. Aurora will just take them at a couple for Vento and Terry. Now in the 3v4, what can TMG get done? Pressing off, tagging into the losing order, the sliver throttle on the top court, over the wall with the flag and drag FYS on the front line, trying to do as much damage as possible. Manages to pick up Vento, but it's just the support. I don't think you're going to win the 1v1 versus not important. In the meantime, at the top of your screen, Crushing Rock and Mitsuki hiding away. Adoptable 8, taking a lot of damage here. Explosive cast does manage to find Mitsuki. Hook not going to land. There's the body slam. Manages to pick it up. Adaptable 8 is going to survive, but FYS should be able to grab it. Adaptable 8 still on the run, still trying to walk away. Gets that passive pop, drinks a little bit of extra boost, gets himself a little healthier, and is now just in the enemy base looking for an opportunity to recall. And he's going to be able to get out as FYS walks without vision. Not important. We'll take him out.
All this over a Drake that is yet to even be started, or just have to be clearing vision, waiting for the next wave of fighting to happen, but neither team wants to give up concessions here. They want every single objective as
wait, there's no way.
Still on the run.
Wait, he's still on the run. I thought he was just dead. I wasn't even trying to cast that chase, but
we've seen that bounce clip before. We've seen that bounce clip before. He's literally bounce 0.2.
Not 2.0, 0.2.
0.2. This is the NA one. We're not going to give him version 2. That's not allowed. You don't take from EU anymore. We took Jojo Pune and he's been inting.
Inting is a strong word. He's been average. But hey, you get the domestic experience of JoJo now. Welcome to the club.
I'm a Fnatic fan, rating 1. I do not care about JoJo. Do not care. I might actually get some silverware for the first time in 5-6 years.
Yeah, G2 not looking so great, but we don't care that much about LEC right now. We're looking at this dragon, which is finally going to be started up after all that fighting. Not important. Has disconnected. I'm assuming he's going to be back soon enough. Yeah, that there's not going to be any sort of a pause for straight down to 6K now. Looking for their entrance in, but Pressure Rock is fighting around a lot of folks. Vento fighting happy. Can we get to the dragon? Not important. He's here. Tyrant's going to pop that Ragnarok. Looks to access the front line. Fight comes through. It's Gomura coming in the clutch, and FYS is out Vento. This should just be a big fight win, but they did find Crushing Rocks, and now in the 4v4, Adaptable 8 trying their best to just stall in this front line. The tank drags. Very difficult to knock down. Night Raiders doesn't have the Ragnarok anymore, but a great laser from Mitsuki. But there's the Cataclysm. Lock it in. Night Raiders tries to heal up, but it's just not enough. Lied will pick that one up, and Mitsuki will be the next to go. FS lose the dragon, but they'll take the fight.
They'll take the fight, they'll take this tower, and they could make a charge here. They could make a good run at this 6 grubs. Atakan is just not the focus for either side right now, but if they could get some decent damage on this, yeah, we even see Hamura walking away from it, knowing that that one is just gone. They will not be able to stop that. That is a free inhib at 26. And for the tempo this game is at, that opens up a lot of opportunities for them to maybe go for a Baron.
Yeah, if there's another fight like that, that's probably just the end of the game. Flash Syndicate will force us to game 3, but Team GDK not out of it just yet. FYS did end up picking up that inner mid turret as the fight over the Scuttle Crab ends up going in FYS's favor. Good try, Benzo. I know how that feels. Did Abe just ult to clear that Raptor camp? Did I see that?
Yeah, you did. It's fine. We don't worry about that. That's fine. That's good cooldown management.
We are. I guess we'll be back up by the time they like. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Still, it's everything scary about these games. There's something about Vanquisher that, like, it's not even a mistake. It's just wonderful to watch. See, let's break it down one by one. So in the top side, I think Adaptable Ape has enough now to kind of deal with the Olaf in a 1v1. You can definitely get away from the Olaf. I'm not sure if they can win the fight. In the jungles, Hamura is very strong, and if left unchecked, will rip through a fight. But we do see an ult coming through. FYS is already dead.
They have just picked out the mid laner of TMGDK, and without that extra poke angle, they just end up for the Baron. And now Adaptable 8-1 in trouble, doesn't have access to the phase rush. The axes fly, and Night Ravens shuts him down in the 1v1.
It just said there's a chance that you can get away from that, and then they belly flop straight into a wall and just get burned on those candles. What is going on there? Night Ravens 1v1?
Yeah, he's looking to just pick up the rest of the way. 100% dead here. He's gonna get a little bit of extra damage down. The sustain from the Olaf very scary, but Leanne will be the one finding that kill in the end.
An entire bullet time. An entire bullet time to the face.
Yeah, Olaf, he's just... It turns out he's
It's wild to me is Terry. You have a great angle on this, but he's gonna blind taunt in the fear that someone's in the bush, not realizing they were just outside it.
Yeah, that control is doing a lot of work for TMGDK. It needs to get them off the way. And all that ends up being is just a 1-for-1 between the two top laners. It's essentially like they killed each other and nothing else really changed.
Yeah, there's no immediate change on the map right now. We're still have to talk about the rest of the map as we go on. So we're looking towards that mid lane, we're looking towards Terry and FYS. FYS in isolation, away from the Galio, in those 1v1s and in those team fights when they're not getting CC'd, doing a lot of damage. Gimbal Winter Eclipse, we've talked about it. We do have some slight changes we'd make to that build, but we cannot undervalue how important Terry is. Even as a secondary damage, they are doing so much work for the team right now. They are getting more to set up for not important on the Jarvan than anyone else right now. Bento has had a great game, can move fast, is running around, Dead Man's Plate, wonderful. It's Terry and not important that are really carrying and giving Lien the time to do the damage.
Yeah, I do wonder about the Dead Man's Plate over the Trailblazer. I think he's very good on a lot of things, but Dead Man's is the classic, it's there too. We're starting to see a couple of those boot upgrades be picked up. We do see not important those upgraded Merc Treads. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but I do remember they give an extra magic damage shield when you take some magic damage, so helpful against the combo that is Homura and Crusher. All of the AP.
Yeah, we'll have to really keep an eye on this now because this could blow up in our faces very, very quickly here if we're on the side of FS. If we let this Drake go, Homura and Night Ravens are going to be running at max speed.
Olaf with a Cloud Soul has got to be one of the most dangerous champions. I think second only probably to a Gwen with a Cloud Soul. Potentially looking for an engagement. It's a little bit of extra code. It is on the tank commander, though. We'll just be able to go back, grab the grab, can't sustain up, but it will give TMGDK control the pit.
So now, as we see TPs, everything's been used. Terry could move off to the side here and try to get some pressure onto that bot lane and get that pushing a little bit heavier. Would like to see them try and get some more pressure on one of the waves, as everything is crashing for them, but they need a little bit more from it. Someone needs to move. It is Lien though, which isn't kind of the person I want that far away from the team fight when your ult is probably the most important, but they do send it off. It is crashing into that tower, the free tower.
Yeah, that will pick up that tower. Yeah, downside end up going down. Hey, as much as this standoff is great for them with the poke comp, they have to make a choice. They have to fight or they have to run, because in the meantime, the waves are pushing against them heavily, and it means that Flash Syndicate are just going to be able to walk in and take control of the pit.
That's kind of what we were waiting for them to do, though. Get that side pressure in, get the mid lane pressure in, get the minions in. That's the most important thing. Map pressure isn't just wards and where you're standing, it's where the waves are, and we have all the wave advantage. We should be able to burst this out quick enough to just go for it. The fight, we'll start off with a hook, and it's our good night to pull in the Gragas, and the Boris. We're getting away.
Mine is big, and now you're just taking into the base, but you're not that tank on the Olaf anymore. Leon goes on a rampage, and it's just Flash Syndicate taking the dragon, taking the fight. It's 2 kills over the skin. A massive explosive cast from Adaptable Wave. He's in everybody falls down. A quadra kill to Leon. He's gonna end game 2.
Blue team has scored.
Really game again too, and he's now looking for a quadra kill, so it does come through for the end in the end. And Fortune Pick was the one we kind of highlighted into this wombo, but more importantly, regardless of how well they've won this one, we're going to a game 3 in a fearless draft. Finally get to see it.
A lot of champions gone, and a lot of things that we're not going to be able to have access to anymore, so we're really going to be digging deep in these champion pools. But Flash Syndicates, you can be happy that this series is continuing on.
Yeah, what do they pick now? There's so much gone from the pools. Yeah, but great game coming in from that bot side. It was something I said was Misfortune could be a difference maker. That bullet time, if no one can get to them, it's going to be very, very troublesome. And Ziggs just didn't get the right ults off at the times we kind of needed them to. Yeah, a little bit more time and that Ziggs could have done a lot more. But fighting after that Drake was gone, even though the hook was good and the flay was good, it's still a Gragas. It's still going to get away.
It's still especially the tank Gragas that we were seeing there with that Shattered Arm Guard and with the Fimbulwinter. It just means it's so difficult to actually lock him down. And that's what we saw over the course of this whole game. It was just so difficult for anybody on TMGDK to finish off any of these kills. Like, yeah, you had your Misfortune who was doing a ton of damage. Yeah, you had your Jarvan who had that Eclipse first item. But the composition, shockingly enough, I think for both of us, was lacking damage.
Yeah, their damage really, really kind of stuck with the Ziggs, and then a Fimbulwinter Jace was just maybe not the shout. Gwen not able to hit the way we wanted it to. Like there was moments where the Gwen was lined up for it, and then just CC on CC came true. And this is what wombo combos do. They stop you from playing your way. It's a much different way of playing the game. It's more defensive while still playing aggressive. Is that like you're shutting their ability to play down while excelling off of one ability, which was in the end the bullet time.
Yeah, and in that last fight, that bullet time channeled aggressively for Leanne meant that it was just a cleanup at the end of that. But we get to talk about game 3 now, and with that talk, we are going to be sending ourselves off to a short break. We'll hop back here when we get to that draft for game number 3. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back one more time.
Crazy, oh, crazy, oh, crazy, crazy, oh, crazy, oh, crazy, 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 crazy.
Welcome back, everybody. We are jumping in here. It's game number 3 between TMG DK and Flash Syndicate. I definitely remember the names of the teams. Don't worry about it. We've got a long series here. We're getting into game number 3, the draft. Sater, I know you are halfway across the world, and it is getting later and later by the minute. How are you
It is
feeling over
nearly
there?
4 in the morning.
Woof.
Yeah. So I am currently pulling Pokemon cards, as everyone should be doing. Because I usually do these early in the morning, but I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow because I'm gonna be a tired boy. But
sure
yes,
hope
no,
so.
we are locked in. We're ready for this, and I've been excited about this all evening because I was hoping to get to a game 3. Maybe not with all the technical difficulties and waiting an hour extra for games, but regardless of our producer going to sleep and not allowing me to go to sleep, we will be getting into a game 3 of Fearless Draft, which means we will be missing out on a lot of champions, and missing 20 champions from a draft is kind of important.
20 champions plus the 10 extra bans that are coming through. It's a lot of options that are off the table. And like we said at the top of the day, it's really going to force these teams to dig in and show us exactly what they've got inside their pools, inside hopefully some champion oceans that we'll be seeing here for these players. You see at the bottom of your screen, those are all the champions unavailable. And now at the top of your screen, or I guess right in the middle of it, is the champions that won't be available for this game as bans are starting to come through. Ornn is going to hit the ban table here, so no tanky top laner there for a technical Abe. A big switch up from what we've been seeing throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, they could definitely pinch more out of that pool. I think there should be some ADC bans coming through because it is the smallest pool available. You take away Kalista, you take away Jinx, and you're going back towards Ezreal's and Kai'Sa's. And that should be the aim right now, but they're not opting into that at all. They're sticking with the Zyra, the Hui, the Wukongs, and Jhin, Ornn, and Victor. Jinx should be priority here.
Jinx and Kalista both high priority, I have to imagine, since there's not going to be anything like an Olaf or a Varus, no Ziggs or Jace, but Ambessa managed to sneak her way through, so that's going to be the first pick for TMG DK.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I do like Ambessa in the current state Ambessa is in. It's a very, very good bruiser mix. Does shake it up. Well, Seraphine being taken immediately, that could be an ADC. Add another enchanter to that, aka the Karma. And that bot lane is ferociously annoying to play against.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to go for a Volibear, which we saw in the other series on the main channel, where Peekaboo kind of washed some people.
Oh yeah, that was some pretty good Volibear gameplay, and I do think having a jungler like Volibear be empowered by an enchanter like Seraphine, whether it's mid, bottom lane carry, or support, all good stuff. Team GDK is going to finally grab up that Jinx, so in that second rotation, and they're going to pair it with the Rakan. So showing their hand early on the bottom lane here and still allowing Flash Syndicate to play around with the flexibility of this Seraphine if they so desire.
Yeah, they could definitely swap it up, but we're going to see a Jhin locked in for that last one. So a complete swap from what we've seen previously, where they've actually taken the ADCs early. Well, usually we see them get taken much later in the draft, so that will change up the bans here towards that mid lane. Orianna was banned previously, so that's still available.
Veigar is going to be banned away. We do have to remember Syndra is globally banned currently in Titan. There is a bug causing her W to cost no mana, so she will not be available for any games in this series. Fiora is also going to be banned here for Flash Syndicate, so maybe expecting this Ambessa to be in the mid lane for FYS instead of up there on the top side for Night Ravens.
There's always a chance. We're going to take away Talia as well here. Also, if the producer could not yawn in my ear, I can hear that and it makes me want to yawn. Please, please, sir. Yeah, just being mean for absolutely no reason. As yes, my favorite mid laner. We're going to see Alessandra.
I do wonder if the Silas ban means that there might be a Malphite coming in the near future, as well as Silas Malphite is one of those very imbalanced matchups. But with the Syndra, or with the Lissandra lock in, a little bit of a frosty comp here. I worry about Cassio Jinx as your backline carries when I'm looking at Seraphine, Volibear, and Lissandra, because that's a lot of backline access to make life very difficult for the members of Flash Syndicate.
When you have a snake and a crazy woman on your team, what do you add? A blind monk and everything will be fine. I'm sure it'll work. Like all you need is some heavy damage bully top lane. And this game gets very scary for the Jinx because, yes, Ambessa can get to your back line, but Camille can jump on you and separate you from everyone and just pummel you into the floor. So I have to give this one to FS to start off with, as Volibear Camille just screams death, and then Lissandra's passive on top. It's tough.
I think it's going to be difficult here for TMG DK's carries. Playing the immobile carries of Cassio and Jinx, or at least before they get any sort of resets, versus, like you said, Camille, Volibear, Lissandra, with Seraphine and Jhin for long-range follow-up as well. And there's not a ton of appeal for them. Anytime Jinx is picked, I'm going to say it, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Jinx formulates your team into a Jinx draft, and looking at Lee Sin, Cassio, Ambessa, this is not a Jinx draft. If Crushing Rock is able to get anything done, I'd be very surprised, as that's a very nice Giratina pull for you, Seder.
It's a full art Giratina. Sorry. It was very nice. I was just clicking like the buttons as I went through the draft, and I looked down and went, oh, that's a full art. Okay, I'm just going to hold that one there for a little while, send that screenshot to all my friends. Yeah, look, I honestly think TMGD will have a very tough time. You're right, the carries will have to lock in, and that Cassio ult has to be pixel perfect. And on the other side, Hamora gonna have a hell of a job. I know the Briar was clean, but how's your Lee?
Yeah, the Briar worked out very well in game 2. The Gwen didn't have as much of an impact as we really wanted it to. So hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more from Hamora here in game number 3. But again, I think like you said, the Jinx and the Cassio are gonna have such a struggle against these backliners, as we're gonna finally get onto the Rift here for our last game of the night. It's game 3 here between TMG, DK, Flash Syndicate. And it's a little bit different than we had initially anticipated, and that's going to be Bento on the Jhin support, with Lian playing the Seraphine carry in the bottom side. That's a choice.
30
Okay.
seconds until minions spawn.
I'm not going to go into another rant how deplorable it is to play ADC. I'm not doing it. It's not worth my time.
ADC is so good right now, you could play it even in support. You can take it a positive way.
That ADC will do more damage than most ADCs will do as an ADC.
I mean, it'll be...
Support item is better than any other item. Prove me wrong.
Well, Bloodstone is getting nerfed again in the next patch. It's going down from a 10% melee buff to an 8%. And I think it's already at a 3% ranged damage amp. I'm going to be real. Bloodstone at this point kind of sucks. Like, it's a good Sheen item, but... there's... If I'm gonna be a support or have a support item, there's
Oh
other
no,
ones
it's...
I'd rather have.
You remember when Ornn had that unique effect of being the only one able to build an item in lane?
Yeah.
And then they went, do you know what? Let's let all supports do that.
I do think that does help with the power output of supports, but yeah, like you said, it does make them a little bit more powerful than they used to be. That's for sure. Granted, Horizon was bottom. I want to see how successful Bento can really be. I think it's gonna make this lane genuinely a little bit easier for Crushing Rock.
I don't know if it will or not, because genuinely Jhin just does more damage as long as Lian is landing the correct abilities. So it's going to be an interesting one. If we are going to go to that split screen, this feels wrong.
Yeah, they are going to get on the Crushing Rock. There's quite a bit of damage now onto the Jinx. Like you mentioned,
Why is my top side on the right? Really help.
You know, sometimes this is just the way it is. I do also want to
Are
point
we
out
in Oceania? This is Australia. This is wrong. Everything's upside down. Where's my Jhin as support?
that's the better question. We're gonna have to keep our eyes again on this bottom lane, make sure we're watching out for Bento on
I'm gonna have to tell my therapist at the time Titan broke me.
We're seeing plenty of push in. Life is already not super great for this TMGDK. Bottom lane, you're playing against Jhin Seraphine. It's not a lot of fun. I think it's worse when Jhin is just allowed to control Night Ravens. He's forced on the run. A nice little sidestep there away from the precision protocol of Adaptable 8. No hook shot wall dive to get in there. So far, go fairly quiet early game aside from the bottom lane. But now Terry looking for an all-in. Bento on the rope is going to get the root on the FYS one more auto. It's first blood to Terry on the Lissandra. And Bento makes it happen with a long-range rule.
How does Bento go from roaming Leona to roaming Jhin support and look just as effective?
Long-range root, very good. It's kind of the whole reason why Jhin playable.
Even then, he's made it look so simple.
I mean,
Mora, no, please, no, please.
no. Oh, buddy. Oh, no. Not important. He's going to get the stun. He's not going to land this time with a nice body block. But Bento, he's there with the bullets and lands his shots. And, oh, it's a disaster for TMG DK in the early game.
My Nono Square has been destroyed. Don't feel safe here.
Has to be on the run. Nice little dash there. Gets himself very quickly away from Mitsuki and FYS. I think that miasma was a pixel farther. That was a dead volley there, but manages to escape with his life.
Don't feel safe. The Jhin support is... He's already got a serrated Dirk.
Yeah! It's 4 minutes into the game and he's got a serrated Dirk, which life was already not great for crushing Rock and Mitsuki in the bottom lane, and now it's just gonna get worse. This dude's gonna start out putting a lot into the pitch.
I'm contemplating life here. Just give me a minute.
You just have to think about the decisions that were made the entirety of this game's life cycle to end up with Jhin.
Like, I have about 400,000 points on Jhin.
Yeah,
I've
he's
played a lot of Jhin.
Here's a fantastic hero.
Everything about Jhin, like, I'm a 1 million Jinx mastery, but absolutely adore Jhin. I think it's probably one of the most interesting ADCs we've had in a while, which means that we have none. But I genuinely nearly texted my missus and went, right, we're not going to play Jhin ADC anymore with Q therapy, but we're doing it the other way around, and I was going to get flamed for texting her at 4 in the morning, but there's a fight happening in the top side.
Yeah, Humor gets a little poke on his parry. That's late. One shot wall by flashes in. Nice 2-man stun. Doesn't land from the work. So, just poking down some grenades. But Inc. one in trouble. Not important. Taking a lot of damage, but it will be the beat of warfare for Flash. Syndicates. Raven will take the trade in kind. FYS now on a nice side. That doesn't work for Bento. Wants to flash forward. He wants one more auto. FYS flashes away in kind and will manage to survive. And ends up just being a 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Feat of war completed for FS. They've got their 3 kills. They're looking comfortable. They probably won't get any objectives off of that 1-for-1 fight, but they're going to put themselves in a good position. Is that an Aether Wisp I see on Volibear?
Yes, it is. I wonder if this means we're going to be seeing Cosmic Drive Volibear? I'm going to be real, Sarah. I have no idea what's happening in this game.
Witchbane?
Witchbane is also a possibility as public execution. Definitely, you are not level 6 yet. You cannot fight Ambessa. Ravens just takes the 1v1.
That is now a 2-0 Ambessa, so regardless of the strangeness being from FS in a couple of different areas, Ambessa's still strong. Ambessa's still going to publicly execute you in front of all the lovely viewers here at Titan, as they just saw something that probably shouldn't happen, as we do see Bento now going to roam up. They have an idea the vision might be there by the fact that Cassio stood back, but Terry is level 6. We could see a claw roll straight in, long range route, Jhin being probably the best support in the world.
Yeah, the long-range engage option of Deadly Flourish. Oh, it sure is. This sure is a game of
How long until Jinx Flame Chompers is the #1 CC as a support?
God, I hope not, because that would mean Yona, Thresh, and Nautilus are all unplayable. If that's the case, well, still looking to on the Recon, but now they scrub away. So 1-to-1 on both sides is a little bit of a scuffle because the last one. They're gonna walk away with it, not looking to fight over it at all. They're just gonna walk away.
Stop the mark. That's the most important thing, so they won't get any bonus points towards the epic monster's feat on that one, so it slows down the tempo a little bit for sure. They've got the kills, they have the time to play with, and I believe I went into a slight Spielberg about the feeling as a jungler when you lose that Feet of War. So Hamura is going to be under a lot more pressure now to constantly be on top of the objectives. Won't have as much time to farm as they'll constantly be on the right side of the map, thinking about how to get as much as they can out of grubs. Can they get a tower played out of this? Help their top laner get that? There's going to be so much going through Hamura's kind of brain, as not important right now is like, ooh, look at Gromp, and starts slapping it, and then goes, ooh, look at Blue, and then starts slapping that, and then goes, oh, there's a lane, I'm going to go slap something in that lane. It's literally Bongo Bear as they run around just having fun, while Hamura's like that guy sweating, smashing his keyboard, playing CS.
Yeah, it's a chaotic game for sure in this game number 3. 9 minutes in, 5 kills, gold just about even. Just that first team of warfare giving Flash Syndicate a minor lead, I would say currently is. We're at the slight up in the top side, so he will be a little aware of what may happen. Heavy trade, public execution used, and yeah, that's just a dead Camille once again. Night Ravens now on a killing spree.
Top laners finally getting to just fight it out instead of playing weird stuff up on the top side and not really getting to scrap it out as much. The Santa game was very, very run over, while Olaf is very boring into the Gragas. Now they get to fight and Adaptive Light is not really enjoying it as much. The Scion pick not really doing. It would have been a lot more fun for them as Terry now going to come up, collect that wave, and try buy some time for the Camille, as Camille's going to go to their trusted support to help keep them alive.
Yeah, Murat is on this red buff and we'll swap this one out. On that buff, but Murat says, I can't risk that if he's going to walk away, and playing their buff.
Yeah, I would have been worried myself there. Seeing a Jhin support walk at you just puts the fear into any jungler, just knowing like that. So much CC and shields and everything available to that
So much
support.
utility. You're right.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like, as we do pan back down towards the bot side eventually, we'll have a look to see that Jinx and Seraphine are just farming. They're just doing the things that they're meant to do, which you could have done on Jhin.
I do think that if this continues to just be a fun
No, don't think this is good.
No, I think not related to the Jhin, as Terry potentially in trouble here, but we'll manage to sniff out that game. If Jinx and Seraphine continue to just have a fun game, this is very good for the Jinx, because the whole thing you're worried about in the bottom lane is, it's Seraphine Jhin. How does Jinx ever exist and get farm and XP and play the game? But with Bento roaming so much, and with Miski also being out of the lane, Crushing Rock has gotten a ton of solo XP and a ton of time to just sit down here and farm, and has maintained even CS with Leanne while also having a call in inventory.
Yeah, have a look at this and try to break it down a little bit more. So between the supports, seen anyway, moving on. Mid lane is I'm gonna be salty about this for the rest of the day. I really am.
But all the CC is gonna come for cleanse. I can only save you so much. As Bento gets a hefty chunk of damage off that heated up tower, but didn't get tagged by Crushing Rock, so no threat of any.
Microwave.
Nicely executed.
Yeah, really, really well played. And they're going to be able to heal up through all the support that they'll be able to heals and shields and whatnot. But
He's got some. He's got healing.
Yeah. Going back, Robs will be picked up here by the Lee Sin. A nice little pick up there for them. Might get them to unlock the first tower. Might give them a little bit of time to try and get that Feat of War completed. I know it's not as important as we all think it is. It's not going to be a make or break situation, but it's more of a morale boost halfway through when you know you've won it. Especially when you have to go the much harder route and not getting the kills. But Moira's actually going to step off this, maybe sniffing out that something could be happening, but does opt to go back in.
Plenty of tower pushing available for them if they want it. It is Cosmic Drive first item. It's just been a slower game. With Bento on a ward, but doesn't know it has that Umbreglaive in inventory, so it feels safe. He's gonna do 6. We'll finally spot out the fact that the ward is ward. Everyone. Satyr, how is the game with Jhin support the slowest game that we've had?
They want to keep me here.
We have Jin, Lee Sin, Ambessa, Camille.
This is my prison, Birdie. This is my prison. This is what I get for playing Elise jungle for one game.
Yep, you brought this upon yourself. As Night Ravens with that control ward will clear out the Jin trap.
Turret plate will fall
Here,
soon.
but they understand that Ambessa is very strong. That's not gonna block any
I'm just going to talk about the fact that Ambessa is absolutely walking this Camille in a matchup where I really didn't expect it to. I really expected Camille to have a bit more of a better time into Ambessa, as we do see the Deadly Flourish miss, so that is that entire roam gone.
Yep. There's the roam from Jin. Walks up, hits W. If it hits, fantastic. If it doesn't, you just walk away.
Brave Jin support is just screaming effective. You don't see Lien here with not important. This is a really nice lineup here if Lien can get the ult off ball.
Oh, Corbin just flies free over the wall! A beautiful shot from Lien means everybody from TMG will hit the floor!
Bonnie Bear just jumped on their bodies. He didn't even hit for damage with his ult. He just jumped on their heads after they were dead. That is disrespectful. Kind of cool.
Beautifully. That's just gonna be an objective over to not important. Outside. Raven does have that public execution. Nice little jump away by a diamond blade. Gets away from the Deadly Flourish. Their teammates Deadly Flourish. That's what it is. Golden Call onto Night Ravens. Has the shield. We're gonna try to get the heck out of dodge. Dodge away from the shot. Vento canceled early. Does manage to pick up the shutdown, but it's a 1-for-1 as Night Ravens makes the trade happen.
And the Jinx rocket just flies on by. I don't think it would have been enough to kill Bento, but it's nice to see that targeting is at least there for the Jinx. But we do see the return here to the mid lane from Terry. Will clear that wave out nice and quick as it's a 3-man invade coming through. Now those Jin traps are actually giving some decent vision.
Yeah, it's like a Maokai sapling. Slightly worse.
Slightly worse, but they last longer.
I know Maokai's skill is
These ones definitely last longer. It's like a mini ward.
Still looks like it's happened, but he has that glacial too, so will be able to get himself out of danger. Engage is used. Nothing happens. Everybody walks away.
179 seconds for Jin traps is what I'm hearing in my ear.
Yeah, that is
So that could be Shirogan counting sheep because he's trying to go back to sleep. We don't know yet. We'll get confirmation on that after. But
we do have
yeah,
second item completed for Ambessa. Night Ravens is scary in both a side lane and a team fight, but what's the question? You don't think how scary Ambessa is.
yeah, this Rift Herald is a bit of a risky play though, as the Dazzle Lake is still quite behind Night Ravens. Night Ravens with a good angle here. Does have public execution, gets onto a backline, and this entire fight could blow up in their faces. Also, there's still a Cassio to talk about.
Yeah, FYS has basically gone, I feel, untouched throughout most of this game. He died in that bottom lane scuffle, but that's Cassio and the Jinx have just been still a 5v5 standoff here. Waves even, so nobody's really winning on a side lane. It's just trades of vision, holding over this objective. Both teams do not want to give up this Rift Herald. That's for damn sure.
See what the next step is going to be here, because Rift Herald's still available. Everyone wants this fight, but no one wants to be the first person to go in. It goes back to that conversation I had. Whoever throws the first spell in mid loses. Whoever throws the first ability here and makes that engage could be the reason they lose if they get blown up too fast. There's a lot of burst on both sides here. They just need to land it, as Rift Herald will be restarted. Night Raven spots it out, and you see Hamura making their way over, but are they fast enough to even get there?
Far away, but over the top, and FYS has found the first kill, and there's that public execution, the shielding. Mitski tanking the 4-shot means that Night Ravens doesn't die, and it's massive amounts of damage from the TMG side. Triple kill over to FYS, and a clean ace for the Death Knights.
Scored an ace.
This is what I was saying. Whoever pulls the trigger first sometimes loses, and they did. They went for the Rift Herald, they pulled the trigger, said, yep, we're going to use some spells on this. It looked good. The Seraphine ult was solid. And then we saw Night Ravens just pinned down by CC, but they went, okay, cool, I'm just going to go in now on 2 HP. And they live, fight, get onto the backline. The end gets knocked up, and it's over. Crushing Rock gets that reset, and they just start pumping out damage. FYS, untouched on the Cassio. Maybe Jace goes back on the bucket list, and we just stick with the Cassio for now.
Yeah, this Cassio looking fantastic in this game. First 3 kills as a triple kill there. He did end up being the field. They got that little compensation prize. But to get there, they had to lose a lot of members. And Satyr, you're an 80 carry. Why does Jinx not have...
I'm just an 80 carry, not an 80 carry main. I'm just an 80 carry.
You're an 80 carry player. Why does Jinx not have Gunpel Wild Arrows now? Where's that item? I thought that was what 80 carries built first.
It is. Seraphine is clearing waves too fast, and Jinx went nuh-uh, and has decided to clear waves even faster. I don't agree with the choice, but with money lacking and the ability to get runes, let me just clear waves. Let me just farm effectively, rock it out, clear every single wave, step back to tower, wait for the next wave. That's it. You're just trying to match Seraphine's wave clear and buy yourself enough time to get there. Getting there is all that matters.
Yeah, maybe as well, just like an extra bolt flying out somewhere, really rocket to tag and assist, and maybe you can start pumping out damage. Throwing every ult at this poor Ambessa. Public execution attempted, but Adaptable 8 says no you this time around.
They will find that one, but the Drake will go over, and that will be a little bit more damage. So regardless of the rune start from the Jinx, that should be possibly a back straight into it. But as always, as orange as ever up in that top side, they will be starting that one up. Camille is going to peel off as they're a little bit low. Rocket misses, and that deters them.
Yeah, Otacon just is so tanky this early in the game. It's like doing a 20-minute Baron. You really have to commit, and Flash Syndicate just don't have the damage for it this early on into the game. They don't have the consistent damage in their lineup. They have great burst between Lissandra, Seraphine, but Gina's support is not going to be doing a ton of consistent damage. The Cosmic Drive first Volley Bearer is not a consistent damage output source, and without a standard 80 carry, you're missing out on a lot of that consistency. On board, nice! Yeah, even with the Deadly Fire landing, they're not going to be able to find it at all.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the current game state that we have. Regardless of my current like prodding and poking at the Jhin supports, etc, but in this game state, when everything is so low and no one's really like excelling too much in their role, I know we have the Ambessa that's doing really well, but we saw them get taken down. Cassio's quite strong, but Lissandra is always going to be useful with that passive as long as they stay alive. This could come down to one fight end very, very quickly, and it's just down to who's going to find that one angle, that one change in the tempo to open this all up, and Pakistan could be it.
Paul opened up, I think just for vision, does tag Otacon. I think it's an opportunity to start the injective up, and I don't know if Flash Syndicate has an easy way to get in here with Terry on the bottom side, finishing up that recall. I think this Otacon might be gone before not important to get in here.
2 TPs available for both Lien and Terry.
Way in. Miasma plus Chompers. How does not important walk in? Rich Otacon just taken for free by TMG.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe they didn't need to find an angle for a fight. Maybe they didn't need to blow someone up. Maybe they just needed to wait till Jhin pulled Otacon for them out of the vision.
Jhin started Otacon and they were like, oh, that's a great idea. We should start Otacon. Thanks, Jhin.
Yeah, it's just a quick little handshake, and this is why Jhin needs to be an ADC, because he never would have used the ult in that situation.
Yeah, probably not. I sure hope not at the very least, but we're starting to see some big item completions come through for both sides. For TMG, Jinx finally has that Infinity Edge completed, 50% crit. It's no Untold Wild Arrows, but Runettes plus Ivy is just a solid combo. Cassio already on 3 items. Rylai's fully stacked Rod of Ages and a fully stacked Saras. This snake is dangerous. Less Garden Snake and more like Viper.
to the slow tempo lane states that have been set up really well. Like as much as it's not like a super hype gameplay, it's like this slow tempo is feeding more into giving Jinx more of an advantage. I know we spoke about
Jinx and
how
Cassia.
strong they are, but they're getting more and more out of this. That IE is now completed, and that Ruin's is going to keep ripping through waves. Jinx can just feed those waves straight back into Seraphine. Seraphine will send them back. It's like a really sophisticated game of Pong. I know gaming has moved on in 30, 40, 50 years, but it's still the same concept.
Nearby, and by friends, I do mean enemies. Potential dive being set up, but not important events in the area. I think everybody just says, not a good idea, we're all gonna walk away.
Yeah, that's just how cookie crumbles, I guess, this game. Cookie doesn't taste too good, but it's crumbling.
It's been a lot of, oh, we're posturing, we might fight, and then they just kind of don't.
It was the worst tango I've ever seen.
Well, it takes two, and the Flash Syndicate, I fear if you...
Takes two and there's 10 of them, and we no tango. Everyone's hugging the wall.
Play the scaling game, I think it's not good for them in the long run. Right, you're under loan summon. This should just be a
Have Atakan, just fight them.
taken away.
You have withdraw. Fight.
A nice little ulti there to get away from the petrifying gaze. That's gonna be a dead Cassio as the Otacon falls off. They did not abuse the GA, and that's a big way to flex it.
They wanted it to get more gold. That's what the Atakan buff is for them. I'll have to have a word with your coach after this about the pull the trigger effect, which they're not doing. But Night Ravens, can you escape from this?
It's Ambassa. She's got dashes. She's just gonna walk away. It's
There's
teleporting though, so they are trying to walk.
Bears in the forest.
There's that public execution. Gets on top of the not important. Now we're looking for the damage on the Bento. Forces the flash out of the Jizz. But yeah, stuck in a 1v4. Not doing for the Ambassa. Night Raven dying. They may get a dragon over to Flash Syndicate, but in the meantime, Baron is just started up. TMG, I'm not so sure about this one though, as the rest of the members of Flash Syndicate are on their way and are looking to stop the shenanigans. Baron being peeled off for it. We'll just get a dragon over to Flash Syndicate.
You can change shenanigans to Shirogans.
On this stream specifically called Shirogan Scanner.
No, it's just Shirogans. The team are up to Shirogans. Yeah, just falling asleep on us. Like the Baron call was like, it was interesting, but like that Jinx rocket could not have been later. I think that might hit the other stream.
Whoa! Careful, that just flew by my house.
That's such an old joke.
Look, it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It never hurts.
No, I can't do that because it's an American stream. Never mind.
Don't shoot there. We are seeing some items coming through. It is going to be Serpent's Fang second there for Bento, so applying a little bit more utility, getting rid of the shield strong and Besso to lease into that Rakan. We're seeing Iceborne Gauntlet for not important, so not a full AP build, just that Cosmic Cry for a little bit of utility. And speaking of wave clear, Adaptable Ape now has that Ravenous Hydra, so able to ping pong waves even more effectively than they were before.
Yeah, they're able to move this over nice and easy, and we're really hoping to see team fight at some stage.
I think we've had one that 3v3 in the bottom side, but it didn't look good. Night Raven does have the public execution, is just waiting for the double dash. A nice prediction there on where Ape was gonna go, and even with the Hextech ultimatum, Night Ravens takes the solo kill.
Yeah, it's just been a story of Ambessa kind of bullying the Camille, and then Camille getting some really good like team fight kind of moments, and then Night Raven goes back to bullying the Camille. It's like you told the principal and you got all your friends to come around and give them a good talking to, and then Night Raven went, "I'm still a bully," and then just as soon as they were left alone, just outside of the car park, found them.
But more this time.
If they had a bounty, you could have went for the lunch money joke, but they didn't have a bounty.
Yeah, I wonder if this pickaxe and this Razor for the Ravens, what item, what their next item is. It's trying to start up Baron again. I still think this is very ill-advised when you're staring down the Jhin and the Valdi Bear in the area, so everybody will peel off, and I think what you said earlier is absolutely correct. Neither of these teams really knows how to pull a trigger in this game.
Yeah, it's the worst shooting range I've ever seen. you go in and it's quiet. It's just quiet. There's no shots going off. Everyone's just like hanging up their posters like this is what we're going to aim for, and no one's going for it. Like at least last game they had the idea of the wombo comp. They're trying to engage constantly, trying to get the Jarvan in, the Galio in, the bullet time over the top. It was all there. This one's like, we'll go in where I can, okay, and then what's Lee Sin gonna do? He's gonna kick one of them. How? There's a lot of play.
Like that, as Bento is kicks off getting vision, and Crushing Rock will happily be the benefactor of that kill. Now one member down. Finally, they might have two members down as Base dies in the 1v1 bottling again. Night Raven's running this game on his own. And now TMG have all the freedom to start up the Baron if they want. Vision is going to be popped there, so not important. We'll see the pick a little bit. Barry walking in with some extra vision. Needs to be that last kind of over the wall. Not important. Potentially in trouble. Samura walks all the way around and says, "We are going to bully this bear." Finally shuts him down. The
No, don't let it reset.
They kill the enemy jungler, but they lose the reset on the Baron, so I guess they get some extra time with a lead in this.
Yeah. One person just needed to keep hitting it. They're killing the bear and the bear is confirmed dead. You can tank it, Jinx. Don't worry about it. It's not like you're doing the most damage in the world when you don't. You don't even have your Mortal Reminder finished. You don't have a Yuntal. What? It's just there's so much missing.
I think everybody's feeling the late night energy this game is getting later and later into this series. I think everyone is excited for this one to come to a close and to see who ends up remaining undefeated in Vanquisher Bay, but it's still a
the main thing is though
gonna get there.
These two teams went into this without dropping a game in their series. They both went in 2-0.
And now they are both at least one game down.
Exactly. So regardless of who wins, we might be seeing possibly top fours out of both of these teams. They do look very, very strong. The deeper they've went into this Fearless draft, we can start to see gaps in obviously the draft. TMGD do look a lot better in this one due to the fact that they have a comp that makes sense on paper. When you look at FS and that Jhin just glaring, it's like a pain on your body, but you don't know how it got there. I'm not sure if most of you in the chat will understand what that is because you're under 30, but I know what it is.
You get one of those sharp chest pains on like the bottom part of your ribs, and you're like, oh well, this one.
When you wake up and you need to get going, and you just take a sip of that white monster, and you get that little heart palpitation, and you're like, oh, this is how I go. And you're like, oh, god damn it! And you start praying to gods you've never believed in. It's a wonderful experience, but this one it's just a sore spot for me. Like, if there was something else there, I know that the support pools were heavily affected by Fearless. As Night Raven, never mind.
He's trying to get onto Bento. That's so much damage from the Ambassa. If they got the last two off, Bento was 100% dead. But the Jhin will put the shot into the Nazi. But in the meantime, yeah, like you said, the base butt, Mitsuki walking up a little too aggressively. Leon says, thank you very much. A nice little cleanse away from Crushing Rock. And the shield from Ahura means that there's no kill. And here comes the Mega Death Rocket from downtown. Shut down Branch with the Crushing Rock. TP in for Death Rocket and Ahura and FYS. You guys are in a bit of trouble. 4-shot doesn't land, but I don't think it needs to, as it's just going to be the body picking up the kill for Terry.
TMGD had a 3-1 and 2 Cassios with 3-3 and 4. And
yeah,
both sides are just throwing constantly. It's
again, I feel like the fact that it is so late at night across the United States, it's just people places
late?
Not,
sorry.
You know, compared to you, obviously, for the United States, we're getting deep into the nighttime on the East Coast, and the players, I think, are starting to lose some of that actual gameplay that we hope to see out of them.
I'm on the East Coast. It's 4:30 in the morning. What do you mean? So, like, honestly, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now apart from my bed. But no, actually, I'm genuinely happy to be watching because these are teams that we'll probably see go to the playoffs. I really want to get every bit of information I can out of them. I just never want to see a Jhin support again in my life.
Yeah, Bento, love the experimentation on this one, but maybe next time, maybe it's like a Nautilus or a Karma, if you want like a damage source. You know, a Vel'Koz you were mentioning earlier, or Xerath, you know, something like that. I don't think Jhin is it. As much as it's like a cool flex, not
Some
it.
pocket picks should stay in your pocket.
Some pocket picks will get you arrested for indecent exposure.
Yes. Are we gonna? That's gonna be the podcast now, the Titan podcast.
It's the title of the next episode.
If we have to bring back a talk on Titan, it's the greatest thing I've ever named in my entire life. The greatest thing.
Back to League of Legends, Terry gets the Glacial Path and manages to get away from a nice kick from Homura, but just didn't get the Q off in time. War action, no kills.
The Moral Reminder is now completed. The IE is completed. The Runins is completed. Jinx is online. But there seems to be... Yeah, that's the thing, is like you have a cleanse and a Mikhail's. That's great. You have them in the kit. They're not available right now, but they are there when they're back up. Terry and Adaptable Ape, if they get onto you, you're still dead. If Lien lands the ult on you and Deadly Flourish, you're dead. If any 2 CCs hit you, you are dead. You don't have that Braum, you don't have that Nautilus, you don't have that tank standing in front of you unless Night Ravens gets to that backline and Homura kicks whatever is on you away. You're still so susceptible to just dying before you can get that damage off. You have to sit so far back. So much wait time here.
If Ava gets the Hextech ultimatum off on Crushing Rock, there's no living for this Jinx. She is going to die no matter how many cleanses or flashes she has. If she lives a Hextech ultimatum, TMG wins the game. But if she doesn't, it doesn't. Speaking of over, I think Mitsuki Life is rather doesn't have that grand engine to get away, but there's that Hextech ultimatum, keeping Rakan locked up. A little help from Night Raven, sidestepping that from Seraph and just looking for more damage, but it's actually losing the 1v1 is not important, and now stuck in the 1v4. Adaptable Ape gets their revenge, and Flash Syndicate coming out ahead on that trade.
Yeah, they managed to close that one down. Terry with a great TP to just go, I know I can make this one in time. They managed to get it. There's pings going down for them to push. So you can see on the way pings as they try to enter into this jungle. Bento and not important. Hunting out right now, but the other side of the map, someone has to deal with that bot wave that does manage to go in. Adaptable nearly has that TP back. Do they have the power here to actually get this with only one grub? No, they do not.
Yeah, this is another issue with not having these standard players. You have a lot of power for what Jinx is doing in this game that we're not seeing a lot of as Terry gets away, but Bento does not. Punished for the sins of your pick, Bento. Perish to the gracefully.
Yeah, I need about 6 more of those to be happy, but regardless. We do see Adaptable Ape getting that bot wave back in, does have the TP now available. Will they stick around to attempt to get something going in that bot side and try to drag some pressure down? Because that dragon is spawning. That is so... But if TMGD get it, they're 1 away from having 4 Infernals.
Lian just getting 3 from the right side. Potentially Trouble is looking for a kick on the Lian, gets the flash kick over the wall. They found Lian, but Misty doesn't get the Raka. They're going to be able to lock it down now. Crushing Rock starts to get reset, and this is the thing. Flash Syndicate was afraid of this whole time. Crushing Rock getting reset, naturally doesn't have the Hexen ultimatum, so Crushing Rock flashes away and is free. Firing. TMG takes the fight. Rocket doesn't manage to find Terry, close but no cigar, but it is going to net them their 3rd Inferno.
Yeah, they're on to 3. They're 1 away from that full fire lockout.
Oh, this is an insane amount of stats.
Yeah, and Baron. I imagine they had Voracious.
Imagine if they have one. Because they got Voracious. They just didn't use it for
Oh
anything.
yeah, the other one. I hate these Akatan names. Just orange and purple. They have purple one.
Just
They
revive.
have 25% for Infernals.
Would be nuts, but unfortunately, nobody wants to get kills early in this game, so we get red Otacon that we didn't.
Yeah, well,
even-
you picked Jhin support. Of course, the game is going to be slow as hell. God damn, counting only is 4 shots.
I'm expecting 10 kills for either team by 5 minutes.
So yeah, to be honest, if I was playing Lee Sin jungle and I saw Jhin support, I would be living in their tower.
They were both playing across the map.
I would be killing the Seraphine then. I don't care. I'm going on real estate. I'm going on Zillow and I'm finding that listing for that tower is mine.
Finding a tent that you could set up on the bottom side.
A tent? An RV?
A full-on camper.
Yeah, 100%. I ain't leaving. I'm having a barbecue out front while they come back for the wave. God damn, they're getting chewed out. I played against a Sona earlier. That thing didn't get to breathe.
Oh yeah, I do want to also point out as we're starting to get to the point where items don't particularly matter, we're going to be seeing a death capture picked up soon by Leanne and Terry, but interesting to note is FYS opting for the Jack Show as a defensive 5th item here. This snake is actually going to be pretty tanky when she gets engaged on.
Yeah, also if Cassio had gotten the Feet of War, does that boot upgrade, the stats Cassio gets from that alone is actually kind of crazy. But
It's a little nuts, yeah.
it's catapulted her from like a, what was a 0.6% pick rate to like 4. Which is
She's
wild.
pretty good right now, yeah. We do have Dragon spawning in about 3 minutes, Baron in about 4.5, so I don't expect we'll be seeing a ton of fighting until these dragons come up, so we're in for another 40-minute banger tonight, Sam. That's 2 games out of this series going the distance.
Yeah, wonderful. No, it's good to see teams at their limits, and for so early in the split, we're only on week 2. We're still getting to know all these players in their new roles across all these new teams, and it is good to see them go the whole way, see their pools open up, and see how they can hold on to a game like this when they might not be in the lead, trying to drag themselves back into it. It is important, but we have to see how this will open it up. Someone else has to go and help deal with Night Raven, so the slower they play this, the more time they buy that Ambessa to get that bot tower, get it in. There is no way that play can 1v1 that Ambessa right now. Serpent's as well is nasty.
Camille can't 1v1 her. I think even in a 2v1 it gets to be a little risky. Pretty much level 18s across the board for all the carries. Level 13 and 15 on the support. Raven does a little bit of poke. That's like for an all-in, but public execution onto Bento. The amount of damage this champion does is ridiculous! Night Raven will manage to find 2, but that's just insane.
Quite a level difference. We got to remember there's a 5 level difference between those two, so in raw stats alone, if they had no items, it would still be a one-shot, but you open up the base. They didn't clear out that bot wave either, as the Daphne is not going to walk towards it as they think it's gone. It might be gone, so that bot tower might fall to minions. No, it manages to survive. This is one of those moments in the game where like one mistake in pathing can end the game.
Now with the Death Stance completed for Night Raven, 2v1s and 3v1s are even more difficult to slow down, and these games like this are the kind of like games and series that I expected to testify as we're reaching game 4, game 5. The stamina of the players starts to get tested. You start to get a little antsy, and especially in these series-deciding games, you get a little nervous. You're like, oh, I don't want to make a play that loses the team. I don't want to be the one who flubs it engaged. That suddenly means that the game is over, especially this game. So I think we're starting to see the players get a little antsy, get a little nervous, and get a little trigger unhappy, I'd say is the way I'd describe it, where they're a little bit more cautious about saying, okay, let's go for that.
Yeah, just go for a fight. I'd love to see that. Just end this game in the next 5 minutes, and I promise I'll come back. I honestly, I want to see Crushing Rock kind of open up now and really start to play Jinx the way it's meant to be played. Play that aggressive style, look for a W, get the slow, set it up in the weirdest way, because I love setting up fights as a Jinx, but we do see a TP coming through. It should be the fight. This is the dragon, but it might be gone before they even get there. Jinx is going to spread this.
Yeah, that dragon is just gone. Eternal Soul available to TMGD, and a great engage. Misty gets up in the backline, flying shoot. Coach gets the I have lost my train of thought in this fight, but it's TMG all day, every day as Night Raven's is in, but now he's out. The Crushing Rock, untouched in the fight so far, has picked up a couple of kills for himself. Grabs 2. Homura wants to find one more, but doesn't manage to land that Sonic Wave. My brain may have left me, but TMG now have full control of the game.
Yeah, they're in a great position here to actually just open this up and end. If Jinx can just get through this tower, they have the blood pressure to keep themselves healthy. They have the reset, Leanne.
Leanne is just dead. Thank you, Bloodthirster. And with that delayed ace, with the Infernal Soul and Jinx being excited, that's gotta just be the end of the game.
Yeah, that timer for way too long. Bento with the reduced levels will get back up a little bit faster, but still not enough, as we will see this one end.
After 43 minutes, TMG remains undefeated here in Group A. They don't remain undefeated in games, but they take the win and go up 2-0 in series.
Mentally, I'm not here anymore. Like, that last fight was like what I wanted 10, 15 minutes before that. Like, I feel like there was so much hesitation in the fear that you might not get it, and it genuinely came down to just Mitsuki on the Rakan, just seeing the
Finding a
W land from the
path to
Jinx.
engage.
I said it. Get that slow off, and suddenly a team fight just kind of starts from it. It's such a strange thing to say that Jinx started the fight, but they landed a slow, and Mitsuki went, "Oh, I can hit that." And it was over. And you just went all in, got the damage down. Jinx untouched on the back. Hanamura nearly died, which would have possibly opened up an angle. But Night Raven and yeah, it was just a little bit too easy then for the Ambassador to run through the rest. Even though they did fall in the end, the damage was available
They
to
got
them
the
at all
damage.
points.
They
Yeah.
did exactly what they needed to do, and it was a great encore from the Seraphine. Managed to land on a few of the key members, but there just wasn't enough follow-up. You don't have enough, again, of that consistent damage to follow up on that CC. Adaptable Ape used the ulti defensively. Terry used the ulti defensively. So they just didn't have enough follow-up after a great ulti, and it meant that TMGDK, with their scaled up hyper carry, just got to play the game in a way that I don't think either of us really expected them to be able to when we saw the draft there before the game started.
Yeah, it was good. I have to say there is still a little worry in me, just a little bit, that we might not get to see another best of three with this selection of picks, because the further we go into this, the more people are going to be taking out these kinds of picks like Lissandra, Cassio, Volley, Jinx. They should have been gone a lot earlier. They should have been picked up maybe in game 2 at least. But it is good to see the Rakan coming back through. I just don't want to see a Jin again.
Maybe no more Jin supports, but I think that is going to be it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us, and especially thank you for your patience while we dealt with our technical issues. I've been What's Your Birdie. That's been Sater, Anti-R Observer, and Sherigan, our producer, making sure everything runs as smoothly as possibly can on the back end. Again, thank you all so much for joining us, and again, thank you for your patience. We'll see you next week with more Vanquisher action here and on the main stream. Have a good night. Crazy.